this week's heat. State Agriculture Commissioner Tyler Harper reminds Georgians to make sure their pets are safe.
A lot of people like to take a run with their pet. That we remember that if we're running on pavement, that we want to do that in the cooler parts of the day.
Also urges farmers to keep their livestock safe by making sure they have plenty of water, shade, and ventilation. And one other note, health officials with the Cleveland Clinic warn that when air quality is code orange or worse, make sure to limit kids' time outdoors. They say kids are especially sensitive because they breathe faster, their organs are still developing. Bad air can also cause eye irritation and shortness of breath. Well, it seems the deal is moving forward. We've learned this morning that Union Pacific and Atlanta-based Norfolk Southern have made it official. They're joining forces to create the first transcontinental railroad in the U.S. in a cash and stock deal valued at $85 billion. Company headquarters will be in Omaha, Nebraska, but Union Pacific says Atlanta will remain a core location as it acquires Norfolk Southern. The deal still needs approval, though, from shareholders and the Surface Transportation Board. Georgia gets high marks on an annual list of the best hospitals in the country.
An impressive 15 Georgia hospitals make this year's list of best regional hospitals. Chelsea Nguyen is a senior health data analyst at U.S. News & World Report. She says Emory stood out in the rankings.
So Emory University was ranked as number one in Atlanta and in the state of Georgia. They were ranked nationally in 3 specialties, which are geriatrics, urology, and neurology.
She says overall, the top 3 hospitals in our state, Emory University Hospital, followed by Emory St. Joseph's, and then Northeast Georgia Medical Center. Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
And maybe you're one of them. 1 out of every 10 Americans is now a millionaire.
Who wants to be a millionaire?
The Swiss bank UBS says 23.8 million people in the U.S. have a net worth of at least $1 million, a 15-fold increase from 30 years ago. Each day, 1,000 Americans become millionaires.
Correspondent Michael Wallace says it's largely due to rising home values and 401ks, although financial advisors warn being a millionaire does not hold the same status nor financial power that it has in the past. It's 9:03. Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start on the roads. Triple team traffic. Here's Smile Mark McKay.
Been a mess in Norcross on Jimmy Carter Boulevard. Judd westbound trying to get between Buford Highway and Peachtree Boulevard. That'll start to ease up. Just watched a crash that lingered in our left lane way too long. Clear at Atlantic Boulevard. Still slow 85 southbound, leaving Highway 316, rolling into Norcross. Inside the perimeter, brake lights are bright now in Brookhaven. 85 southbound at North Druid Hills Road, exit 89 for the ride to Midtown. Starting to ease up on 75 out of Cobb County. Still seeing spotty delays between Marietta and Northwest Atlanta. Where's the slowing now on 400, Ashley Frasca?
Brake lights begin just past Old Milton Parkway for that ride from Alpharetta. 400 southbound until you clear Holcomb Bridge. We've had a tree down in East Cobb County. You may see delays on Lower Roswell Road at Sunset Trail east of Johnson Ferry. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad, and it's hot and humid today, high around 96, heat index 100 to 105, heat advisory until 9 p.m. We'll have scattered showers and storms this afternoon and evening, rain chance for one spot 40%. That goes up to 60% Wednesday afternoon, high 92.
Already hot, 80 degrees in Covington, 79 in Kennesaw, 81 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30, breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome, friends. Tuesday edition of the Mark Arum Show with you for the next 3 hours. A ton of information to cover and a lot of entertainment. Really cool guest, Deborah's book today. We're going to talk to Jimmy Brown. He is the drummer for UB40. Remember, that's Red, Red Wine. Anyway, I'll stop singing. He is going to join us. They're coming to Atlanta in August. We're going to talk to actor Danny Houston, who is on a couple of seasons of Yellowstone, playing a bad dude. You've seen him in a ton of stuff. He is going to join us live. And Deborah did it again. Not 1, but 2 prize packs to give away on this Tuesday morning, Deborah. Tickets to see Bryan Adams and Pat Benatar.
Yep.
Performing separately or together? Do we know?
They are separate. They're
okay.
It's one night, but 2 separate acts.
Two separate shows. Gas South Arena, November 6th. And Sir Rod Stewart and Cheap Trick, again, 2 separate shows, I'm assuming,
yes.
at Ameris Bank Amphitheater, coming up on August 1st, just a couple of days away. So amazing prize packs. Scott Slade's going to join us live. First off, I can't wait to talk to Scott. Gushing. I haven't really talked to him after the end of the Carathon, the record-breaking Carathon, where you, generous listeners, donated $2.1 million million and counting to the 25th annual Carathon. Scott, the godfather of the Carathon, he's going to join us live at 10:35, talking about the FBI MLK files. They were released, and I didn't really hear any information about it, the stuff that we didn't know, but Scott's going to go in depth on that. Obviously, a lot of big local ties with the King family here, so that's coming up at 10:35. We're going to talk to Joe Khalil from News Nation. We're going to go in depth on the budget bill. I've been seeing these posts on social media. The big promise from President Trump in the big budget bill was no tax on tips and no tax on overtime, which I know a lot of folks were excited about. Did that come to pass in the big budget bill? We're going to talk to Joe Khalil in just a minute, and we're going to go to D.C. Following the Ghislaine Maxwell stories, plural. There are plural stories. Deborah, I finished yesterday. So the other day I finished the Ghislaine Maxwell documentary, and then yesterday I finished the 3-part or 4-part Epstein documentary. Oh, my goodness. I mean, I'm nauseous just thinking about what the heck was going on. But
I don't think I can watch it.
I think that's what I didn't want to, but I'm like, well, it's a story now, so let me go and watch it. We're gonna head to D.C. get the latest on Ghislaine Maxwell. I do want to update a story that Judd mentioned and you heard throughout Atlanta's morning news. A mass shooting in New York. Investigators in New York City and Las Vegas trying to figure out why a man drove from his Vegas home armed with several weapons and then opened fire at a Manhattan building. 4 people killed, a 5th hurt. Shane Tamura, the suspect, took his own life. Sources tell ABC News a note found in his pocket referencing CTE. Our buddy Aaron Katersky from ABC is outside the suspect's home in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas police had issued him a concealed carry permit, and officers here are now tracking down where he bought the M4 rifle used in the shooting. The NYPD also found a revolver and ammunition in his BMW, along with medication. Police said he had a documented mental health history. In fact, we're learning police here in Las Vegas were called at least twice in recent years for a person in mental health distress.
Just an awful, awful story. One of the victims of this mass shooting was an on-duty New York City police officer. So flags in New York at half staff right now. Later in the show, we'll go live to New York, get the very latest on a tragic shooting. That New York police officer was off duty when he shot, but was in uniform working security at that office tower building. Just a horrible, horrible story. All right, as promised, joining us live on the show from News Nation, our buddy Joe Khalil. Joe, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning. Glad to be with you.
I just mentioned my producer. I keep seeing these videos of disgruntled voters saying they voted for President Trump because they didn't want tax on tips and they didn't want tax on their overtime. And now they're up in arms because apparently they say that's not part of the big, beautiful bill. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime. Did that come to fruition in this budget bill or no?
Well, it did. So it is part of the new law, but it probably works a little differently than people might have expected. So the way it works is it makes the taxes that you get if you're a tipped worker tax deductible at the end of the year. So it's not like you stop paying taxes altogether, but it's that when you do your taxes at the end of the year, you get the refund back. If you are, again, a waiter or a bartender and you collect a lot of those tips. So I understand, and I think it's going to be a difficult challenge for Republicans as they are now in their home districts. They, House is on recess. They're trying to sell this bill to a lot of their supporters. And sometimes it is hard to sort of explain, well, you're getting the benefit, but there's a little nuance there.
All right, so let's go hypothetical here, Joe. Let's say I am a server at the Olive Garden on Cobb Parkway near Truist Park where the Braves play, and I made $30,000 in tips. I'll make $30,000 in tips in this tax year in 2025. The taxes are taken out, whatever, weekly, biweekly, whatever my paycheck is. But at the end of the year when it comes tax time, I can then put that in and get, ask for a deduction or a refund on those tips?
That is, to my understanding, how the bill works, how the new law works, yeah.
So so these people that are up in arms, they're not up in arms about there's no tax on tips. It's that you got to wait till the next tax year to get the refund on the taxes taken out of your tips.
Yeah, and look, to an extent, it's understandable that people might be frustrated by that. It was messaged as no tax on tips, right? So people have a very sort of basic understanding of what that means, and then all of a sudden when they see that there are still taxes that are taken out, I can understand that's frustrating if you're looking at a paycheck and you see that kind of thing. So, yeah, I think, perhaps Republicans might have not fully explained how this is going to work and where the benefit comes in. And there may very well be a political price to that.
So just poor messaging, I would imagine, because I keep seeing these videos pop. I'm not following any of these people, but whatever the algorithm is, there are people that are really mad about this, but it's just a messaging issue as far as when those tips get refunded to folks.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. And again, if you're somebody who's like, I'm not feeling it right now, you understand the frustration there. There are several parts of this bill, some, that are popular, some that are really unpopular, and a lot of them don't start immediately. Some of them won't kick in until 2026. For example, one of the big controversial pieces was the Medicaid cuts and the changes to the program. And that's one that Democrats now are trying to message and say, look, this is really going to hurt you, but you're not going to feel that hurt until 2026. So a lot of this stuff is delayed in terms of when it actually starts impacting people.
So on the Medicaid, delayed pain. So right now no one's feeling it, but the pain will come, before the midterms, I would imagine, which could be an influence there. Joe Khalil from News Nation joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Just quickly back to the tax issue. What about tax? No tax on overtime. Is that something that did come to fruition in the budget bill?
Yeah, I believe it did. I believe that was one that was supposed to, essentially you kick in now, the no taxes on your overtime pay. So whether people are feeling that or not, I've seen some confusion about that too. And some people have said that they're not seeing those benefits yet as well. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, because I remember talking to lawmakers about it, and it was my understanding that was supposed to kick in right away. So, we're seeing some grievances, I think, on several fronts there.
Interesting. Any other big takeaways, Joe, on the budget bill that folks here in Atlanta should be paying attention to?
I would just say that anytime you've got a massive bill that's more than, close to 1,000 pages, there are going to be things that are, helpful and things that are going to be hurtful probably. And so I would just say, be cautious, listen to trusted sources. Republicans are going to tell you this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Democrats are going to tell you the bill is total hell. And the answer is probably somewhere in the middle, depending on how much money you make. So I would just keep that in mind. And also the tax on tips, tax on overtime, it's tax deductions at the end of the year. Keep that in mind. If that clears up some questions about it.
Gives me clarity. I'm not getting tipped. I should get tipped. I would like to have a tip. Everyone else,
I would tip you.
Everyone else and their mother has a tip jar out. I want to have a tip jar out here in the studio.
I'll Venmo your show some tips.
Love it, Joe. Appreciate your time as always, my friend. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
There you go. When I was a waiter, a server back in my day, I didn't pay any tax on tips. It was all cash back then. It was like you made $100. That was in your pocket. There was no declaration of. But I guess now with most tips on credit cards, Deborah, that has to be reported. All right. So for all the folks that are freaking, I mean, I keep getting these people are mad. They're like, you said, Trump, there would be no tax on tips. They're still taking my. All right. So they'll take it out, but you'll get it a refund, which I guess might be kind of annoying. But at least you'll have. Yes. That's like a savings plan. Like, oh, all these taxes I'm paying, I'm going to get that big refund the next time I file. One of the other things that was in the big bill that not really many people cared about, except people that are professional gamblers or poker players, they got struck with a big change to how they can deduct losses. It doesn't impact me. I'm not a professional gambler, but I know that the big gamblers out there, men and women that make a living playing poker or gambling, they're furious about this thing that was snuck in at the last second. Speaking of gambling, Deborah, I'm done getting my hopes up that betting will be legalized in Georgia, but it's starting to bubble up again. What can you tell us about this?
All right. Well, I mean, I think it comes up every election cycle, right? Well, this time, legalized sports betting, casinos, horse racing, whatever, people want it here in Georgia. So now they're actually putting forth a study committee to see, is this something that Georgia can handle? because Georgia is one of only 4 states that don't have any type of legalized commercial gaming at all.
Wow,
so
only
this
one
study
of
is
4? That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, my
yeah.
goodness. Okay, I'm sorry to
I
interrupt.
know,
Go
right?
ahead.
I mean, come on. How long did it take us to get alcohol on Sunday? Just a
Yeah.
couple more decades and we can gamble too.
Wow.
But supporters say, this is going to bring in a huge chunk of money, maybe about $500 million to the state. And Atlanta Motor Speedway, or Echo Park now, they want to build a casino down there. And then, of course, you have the other side of the argument saying it's going to lead to addiction, crime, bankruptcy, job loss. So the study has until the end of the year, and then they make their recommendations, and then it'll go back to the next bill. Yeah.
I'm not even going to get my hopes up because
I
the
know.
last session, we had all the professional sports teams. Like the Braves, the Falcons, the Hawks, Atlanta United, they all pushed for it. And if they don't have the political juice to make it happen, it's not going to happen. What's ironic, there was a crazy story that popped. It's a sports story, but it's more of a gambling story. So the Cleveland Guardians, professional baseball team, earlier in the year, they had one of their pitchers suspended for pending investigation. Because apparently, I don't know this because we can't bet here in Georgia, but apparently you can bet, Deborah, on the first pitch of an inning, whether it's going to be a ball or strike. Like, this pitcher's wild, it's going to be a ball, or he's got great control, it's going to be a strike. Apparently, there was some massive bets placed on this one pitcher's first pitch. And, I don't know how much money typically is bet on a first pitch. Let's say it's $10,000. All of a sudden, $3 million was bet on this first pitch. And the pitcher just threw the ball into the dirt, like way before, like it was very obvious. And so they suspended this guy, and it was like, holy cow, was he paid off? And we still don't have an update on the investigation. But yesterday, the Guardians star closer, Emmanuel Clase, he got suspended for the same thing. And again, it was, an inordinate amount of money was like, you got to be a total degenerate to bet like, oh, it's going to be a ball or strike in the first, not betting on the game or if someone's getting a home run, like on a single pitch, you bet money. So again, and they showed the video, the batter is 60 feet 6 inches from the pitcher. And Emmanuel Clase is one of the best, if not the best closer in baseball. Instead of throwing it 60 feet 6 inches, he threw it like 45 feet right into the ground. And so that shocked. The commissioner of baseball, Rob Manfred, is absolutely freaking out because if you lose the integrity of the game, it's over. So these two players that are suspended, they could be facing what Pete Rose did, the lifetime ban.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
It's a huge, huge story. But then on the other side of the coin, when you're watching that pitch where it went 45 feet and it was an obvious, and he tried to blame it on the mound, like he slipped or something. He's like, oh, what was that? But on the graphic on TV, it was like the sponsor was a betting website. And it was like, hey, bet this guy didn't hit a home run. It's a crazy story. Anyway, I'm not getting my hopes up. There will be no gambling in Georgia. It's just not going to happen in my lifetime or in anyone's lifetime. I don't know why. If the Braves, Falcons, and Hawks couldn't get her over the finish line, it's never going to happen. All right, quick break. When we come back, updating our top local stories. Still to come, we're going to go live to New York, get the latest on the horrible mass shooting there. We're going to go to D.C., get an update on multiple Ghislaine Maxwell stories. And really cool guest today, actor Danny Houston from Yellowstone. You've seen him in a ton. The Aviator he's been in. He's awesome. And we're going to talk to Jimmy Brown, the drummer for UB40. They are coming to Atlanta. Hopefully, they don't get stuck in traffic when they come to Atlanta. Live to the traffic center, the latest live, Mike Shields.
That's some tractor-trailer trouble. Moved to the right shoulder on the east side perimeter mark, 285. Northbound the outer loop as you approach Covington Highway, exit 43. And roadwork set up once again as you leave Ellenwood into Stockbridge today, 675 southbound approaching Highway 42. That's in the right lane. This report is brought to you by YREFY.com. It's private student loan debt ruining your life. It doesn't have to. Just go to YREFY.com. That's YREFY.com. You get your life back. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You've done it for 25 years.
$2,125,255.
Wow.
And you can still donate at WSBRadio.com.
Thank you, Atlanta.
Bye, Kids Hospital. We love you.
Change, it's always happening, folks. It's a part of life. When it comes to music, change is all around us. Think about the songs you listened to as a kid and what you listen to now and what your kids or grandkids listen to. But no matter how many things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. It's the price of your internet. It's Mark Arum back from my pals at Xfinity, and Xfinity now introducing a 5-year price guarantee. 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, don't be. Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed broadband experience report August 2024. Xfinity.com/deals.
It's our 20th anniversary at North Georgia Replacement Windows, and we're celebrating with our biggest sale in company history.
It's Ted and Jonathan. For a limited time, save 25% on beautiful Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows and doors.
Celebrate with us and upgrade your home's energy efficiency, comfort, and curb appeal. Window and door shopping made simple.
Hurry, 25% savings ends July 31st.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
Summer's here, and so are the backyard parties, barbecues, and pool days. Is your house ready? Wise Guys Pro Wash can help get your home, driveway, and deck back to new in no time. Mention me, Chris Chandler, and get $70 off your next service. Book now at wiseguysprowash.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-Ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-Ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. Mm-hmm. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-Ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
A word of caution for motorcycle riders. Remember, 18-wheelers have bigger blind spots, and it takes them longer to stop than a smaller vehicle. Eric Von Hassler here to remind you that if an 18-wheeler forces you to lay your bike down, you need to call in Steel Horse Law. Attorney George Stein is a motorcycle rider, and he understands bikers' needs. Get more info and request a free Rider's Advantage card at steelhorselaw.com.
Happy 72nd birthday, Geddy Lee, rock singer, musician, part of the Canadian band Rush. Here's Tom Sawyer. Deborah, Rush, overrated, underrated in the musical world?
Ooh. You know, I was not a Rush fan until I really started having to play their music, and then prog rock kind of made sense to me. But as a casual listener, I never got into it. But now that I understand it more, they're a solid band.
Best known, perhaps, for their role in "I Love You, Man."
Sure, yeah, slap into base, yes.
Yeah, anyway, I like Rush. They're it's tough. I don't know how to place them in the pantheon of rock, but certainly
prog rock is hard. Yeah,
very, very recognizable. Tragic story. I've never lived in a place until I moved to Georgia where I'm thinking specifically of Peachtree City, where people use golf carts to get around town. But now it's becoming more and more common. Sad though, tragedy for some teens on a golf cart. Deborah, local story here.
Yeah, one teen was airlifted to the hospital and 3 other passengers were injured with a golf cart that was overturned. Now, this was over in Hart County, which I think is closer to Athens, and over the weekend. And they were all between the ages of 16 and 18, and they still don't know what happened, if it was speed, if they came across something, but the golf cart overturned, and one of them was severely injured, taken to the hospital. The other ones had some minor injuries.
Apparently, this was on like a regular road, too, not like on a golf cart path. I've had some incidents in my ute where I took a little too fast in a golf cart, but I would never take one onto an actual road. Hopefully they'll recover there, but a sad local story out of Hart County. All right, when we come back, Ghislaine Maxwell stories, plural, unfortunately, we have to talk about. We'll go to D.C., get the latest on her situation in front of the Supreme Court. Social media is active throughout the broadcast, at Mark Airman, at WSB Radio.
You don't want to play games when it comes to your roof. That's why you should call Finley Roofing, the experts who believe manners matter and who will treat your home like their own. So you'll be sure you get your roof done right. Learn more at finleyroofing.com.
Hey folks, it's Belinda. What you have planned this weekend? How about visiting the Lakewood 400 Antiques Market in Cumming, Friday through Sunday this weekend? Grab your spouse or your friends and go on a treasure hunt with over 500 booths. Everything you can imagine, from jewelry, collectibles, sports memorabilia, antiques, furniture, handcrafts, and toys. Every aisle and row is a different adventure. Come on out this weekend to the Lakewood 400 Antiques Market, 1321 Atlanta Highway in Cumming. Visit LakewoodAntiques.com.
One of the worst things about termites, they are silent destroyers. They could be eating your home right now and you'd never know, unless your termite service thoroughly inspects inside your home with the best termite technology. Mark Aram here for Breda Pest Management. When was the last time you actually saw your service inspect for termite damage? Let me guess, they just walked around outside and checked the bait stations. If termites are eating your house, how would they know just by walking around your yard? Better get Breda. Only Breda uses advanced infrared cameras, microwave technology, and a moisture meter for early detection. So you can continue to pay more every year for your current service to walk around outside, or switch your termite protection to Breda and your rate is locked in for 10 years. Breda Pest Management, they handle bugs and critters like termites. BREDA Pest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
First impressions matter, especially in the summer. Wise Guys Pro Wash will make sure your home makes the right impression. Soft wash, safe results, and zero hassle. Mention me, Chris Chandler, for $70 off your home, driveway, deck, or roof wash. Book at wiseguysprowash.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather, traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Judd Hickenbotham. News this half hour brought to you by Dr. Roof. Our top story. Many of you may have already spent some time stuck on the roads this morning, so you might not be surprised that a new report puts Atlanta among the worst cities in the country for daily commute times.
Atlanta moves up 3 spots in Consumer Affairs' annual report ranking the cities with the worst traffic in the country. Now at number 5, the organization's Lauren Job says Atlanta drivers are spending a lot of time in the car.
Daily congestion lasts about 5 hours a day, which is 35 minutes worse than the year before.
That adds up to an average commute of a little over 31 minutes, but she says congestion is typically an indicator of a strong economy and job opportunities. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
It's 82 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta. Channel 2 Action News meteorologist Brad Nitt says another heat advisory fires up this morning at 11 as you head toward another high in the mid-90s. Heat index over 100. Another round of pop-up storms comes this afternoon and into the evening, at least the threats there. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Now, meanwhile, some local high school athletes are making adjustments during this heat wave. At Benjamin E. Mays High School, athletic director Natasha Harrigan says they moved up football practice to 6 a.m. before the temperatures soar.
It just really decreases any kind of heat illness.
Yeah, she says they do temperature checks every 30 minutes to keep players safe. And we're just days from the start of the school year in Metro Atlanta and weeks from the start of football season. Well, as many of us look to beat the heat on the water this week, a new life jacket loaner station is dedicated to the memory of a longtime local advocate for boating safety.
He just loves saving lives. Brianna Day says the new life jacket loaner station at Allatoona Landing's public boat ramp is the perfect continuation of her late husband, Captain Chris Day's passion, boating safety. Allatoona lakegoers will see a photo and bio of Day and fit instructions as they choose the right size life jacket and bring it back when done. If you forget a life jacket, if you think you don't need one that day, if you don't have enough on the boat, we want them to be ready and accessible for anyone to grab. Brianna Day says even strong swimmers should think about coming home to their families at night. If you don't want to wear it for yourself, wear it for them. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
Well, Atlanta-based UPS announces this morning mixed results for the second quarter, just missing Wall Street estimates. Now, it acknowledges uncertainty because of U.S. tariffs and declines to give earnings guidance. Package revenue is actually better than expected for the quarter, but analysts are worried about the impact of decreased shipments from countries like China on UPS's bottom line. Last year, it was Hurricane Helene for Atlanta. Now the price tag for this year's natural disasters is climbing around the world.
Natural disasters have caused more than $131 billion in economic losses around the world for 2025, according to a new report from insurance company Munich Re. What's most notable is $80 billion was insured, the second highest amount of insured losses since record-keeping began in 1980.
Tracy Wolf reports Los Angeles wildfires have been the most expensive natural disaster so far this year around the world, causing $53 billion in total losses. It's 9:33 as we check your money. A positive start on Wall Street. Actually, the Dow now just dips into negative territory slightly. S&P and NASDAQ are up. Now, live team coverage of traffic and weather. Starting the WSB 24-hour traffic center and Mike Shields.
Judd, still full house out there on the interstates, especially trying to get to the city in Gwinnett County. 85 southbound, bumper to bumper, leaving 316, leaving Duluth through Norcross, getting down to I-285. 400 southbound starting to clean up out of Alpharetta through Roswell, but you will see the brake lights leaving Old Milton Parkway, getting down to North Ridge Road. 75 southbound in Cobb County and Marietta, on and off the brakes from Highway 5 down to I-285. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. Hot and humid, showers and thunderstorms will be scattered this afternoon and evening, but outside of that temporary relief from the heat, we'll top out around 96, heat index 100 to 105. We'll dry up overnight down to 76, then scattered showers and storms a little more numerous on Wednesday. Rain chance 60%, high 92.
81 degrees right now in Tequila, 83 in Union City, 83 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10, breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
What would you do with $1,000 this summer?
Hotel, pool, week at the beach, cabin in the woods.
Whatever you want to do this summer,
WSB has $1,000 to make it happen.
Thank you. $1,000 Thursdays gives you the chance to win $1,000 every hour between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m.
I am so excited. Listen for the keyword at 9, 10, and 11 a.m. and 12, 1, 2, and 3 p.m.
Enter the keyword at WSBradio.com or on the WSB app. Within that hour,
You could win $1,000.
No way. Is this a joke?
Get all the info at WSBradio.com.
$1,000 Thursdays.
This Thursday from 95.5 WSB, where Atlanta wins.
The building personnel said, stay in place. There's an active shooter.
Still to come, we're going to go live to New York City, get an update on the mass shooting there. But coming up next, Giselle, the right-hand woman of Jeffrey Epstein, is going to be in front of the Supreme Court soon. We'll update that story, and Deborah will pronounce her name correctly next on the Mark Arum Show.
You worked hard for your 401k, but if you've left your job, your money might be sitting in the wrong hands. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and it's very possible that the 401k that you have had for years has hidden fees and limited investment choices. But if you're no longer with the company, that 401k may be at the mercy of your former employer. All of these things could be costing you thousands. Rolling over your 401k into an IRA can provide better investment options that align with your long-term goals. At Trajan Wealth, we're fiduciary advisors that are held to a higher standard with no hidden agenda and no hidden fees. Don't let your retirement dollars sit in an old plan, and don't roll it over to your new plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Advisory services are offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're a different kind of wireless company dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Because let's face it, our needs are different. Big wireless unlimited plans are designed for 20-somethings, not us. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on one thing, bringing you affordable, reliable rate plans that suit your needs, not ours. How do we do that? We start by using the same towers as the big guys, the exact same towers. We then create rate plans designed for your usage. The fact is, we can offer you an unlimited plan with the same network quality for less because we understand how you use wireless services. Our plans start at just $20 a month. And forget trying to chat with robots. You'll get 100% US-based award-winning customer service when you need help. Come find out how wireless should be and join the millions who've made the switch.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
9:37 on the Mark Arum Show. Sorry for the mispronunciation. What did you think I wanted to say, Judd? What was coming out of my mouth instead of?
It sounded like you want to say Giselle
Bundchen. Yeah, Giselle.
It's Ghislaine, buddy.
Apologies to the former Mrs. Brady, not Giselle Bundchen. Ghislaine Maxwell. Steve Portnoy from ABC. Steve, I never thought I'd be talking about Ghislaine Maxwell this much, but here we are on a Tuesday morning. A couple of stories involving the right-hand woman of Jeffrey Epstein. We'll start yesterday. What happened in front of the Supreme Court?
Well, yesterday, attorneys for Ghislaine Maxwell re-upped their argument before the Supreme Court that she should never have been charged with sex trafficking back in 2020. As a co-conspirator of Jeffrey Epstein. And look, the Supreme Court is not being asked to decide whether she recruited and trafficked and even participated in the abuse of women, young women, minors under the age of 18. The Supreme Court is being asked to decide whether prosecutors should be bound by their colleagues' agreements in other states or other federal circuits. Let me explain. In 2005, 6, and 7, 2 decades ago, Jeffrey Epstein was engaged in protracted negotiations with the Justice Department. They were investigating the allegations that he was involved in sex trafficking, that he abused young girls. But rather than take the case, they decided to work out a deal with Jeffrey Epstein. He would agree to plead guilty in state court, receive an 18-month sentence, a slap on the wrist, and federal prosecutors would sign a document that pledged that they would not prosecute him or any of his co-conspirators. That was a deal struck by Alex Acosta, who would later become Trump's labor secretary in the first term. But in 2019, despite that agreement, prosecutors in New York, federal prosecutors in New York, charged Jeffrey Epstein with the same crimes, basically. And a month later, he was found dead in prison. Suicide, the investigation found. Now, a year later, Ghislaine Maxwell was prosecuted by federal prosecutors in New York. It's that they're challenging. This idea that because Jeffrey Epstein signed a piece of paper, as did federal prosecutors in Florida, at that point 15 years earlier, or just about, how could Ghislaine Maxwell be charged? Because the Justice Department made a promise to Jeffrey Epstein that it wouldn't pursue the case. The issue has to do with how the federal circuits view this kind of issue. And there is a difference. In Florida, which is governed and covered by the 11th Circuit Appeals Court, there's a different view of these non-prosecution agreements from the 2nd Circuit Appeals Court, which oversees New York. And that's the issue the Supreme Court is being asked to decide. And it's possible, not likely, the Supreme Court will agree to hear this case. And that's part of the argument that Ghislaine Maxwell's attorneys are making. Judges, your justices, please take this case. We have a serious legal point that needs to be decided. We feel our client was wrongly pursued. All of this, the argument from Ghislaine Maxwell's attorneys in court yesterday. And it's funny, well, strange, because it's the same Justice Department who sat across the table from Ghislaine Maxwell last week, hoping to learn more from her about this case, that's fighting her at the Supreme Court. Their argument is we should have the power to pursue these prosecutions if we desire, no matter what some of our U.S. attorneys may have said in different parts of the country. We want the right to pursue crimes for whatever reasons we might have under the rules that exist, and there should be no need for the Supreme Court to step in now and upset the apple cart.
Stephen, have we received any word from what happened with that meeting between the Justice Department and Maxwell?
Well, only from Maxwell's attorney, who said that it was a very productive 2-day meeting, 9 hours, that Ghislaine Maxwell was asked about 100 different people, didn't decline to answer a question, not once, he said, and also didn't make an ask for a pardon, but would welcome any kind of relief that the administration is prepared to offer. The bigger question, well, another question, I won't say it's bigger, there are a lot of big questions here, but one of the big questions is whether Ghislaine Maxwell will willingly take part in the House Oversight Committee's investigation. You know, Ghislaine Maxwell's been subpoenaed now by that committee. She reserves the right to plead the fifth in that deposition, which is scheduled to take place in just under 2 weeks. It's not clear what she's going to do. She was given some what they call proffer immunity, a limited immunity, in the conversation that she had with Todd Blanche last week, which, by the way, according to sources, was a conversation that was initiated by Maxwell and her attorney. They say they have a story that they wanted to share. No one at the Justice Department, according to both sides, ever bothered to ask. And so Ghislaine Maxwell was asked over 9 hours last week by the Deputy Attorney General. The president, in recent days, has been asked whether he would pardon Maxwell. He says, of course, he has the power to do it, but has not given it much thought. He says it's too early to wade into that now.
Final quick question, Stephen. If Maxwell does appear before Congress, are we going to be able to see and hear that, or is that going to be behind closed doors?
Well, typically, a deposition occurs behind closed doors. But as we've most recently seen in the case of the House Oversight Committee's investigation of Joe Biden and the auto pen, they videotape the conversations, and they are willing to release them. It's entirely a decision for the committee leadership to make. Chairman James Comer, he can decide to release the video or not, or the transcript. And it's very selective. It's entirely discretionary. So we'll see.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News. Great stuff as always, Stephen. Thanks for your time.
You bet.
All right, so Deborah, I'm glad I actually watched those two documentaries because of this story. I'm going to start with the deal that Epstein got back in 2009 or whatever from the West Palm Beach police, whatever, 2007, I don't know. Like what's heartbreaking is all of these young women, girls, some of them at the time, they are the victims in this. Now, in the documentary, there was no one but Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell that abused these women, these girls, except for Prince Andrew. He was the only other notable that has been confirmed to have taken part in these escapades. But the sweetheart deal he got, they only, like he could have been charged, like the prosecutors or the police in Palm Beach or West Palm Beach wanted to throw the book at him. They had all this evidence of sex trafficking and sleeping with like it was, and the DA's office just charged him with soliciting prostitution. Like that's it. And he got 180 days in jail, but basically he had work release and he only had to sleep there, and he would leave and he would fly to Miami and New York and his private island. I mean, I don't know. I have no theory on why he got this sweetheart deal, but it was awful. And then they finally popped him in New York years later, and then he, quote, killed himself. In the documentary, they had his brother, Epstein's brother, who doesn't defend his brother, but he didn't believe that his brother killed himself, so he ordered his own autopsy, and the coroner that did it said, no, he didn't kill himself. His neck bone was broken 3 times here. Not likely he could have anyway. But what I've been wondering, I'm like, because this is, and I've been, consistent on this. If Donald Trump was in the Epstein files, I'm pretty sure that the Biden administration would have released him, right? Like it makes sense. Like, take out your political opponent in the presidential race. If Trump was in there and was alleged to do nefarious things, we would have seen these files. But in the documentary, Bill Clinton is on Epstein's flight log like 20-something times. Right. 20-something times. But he says he never went to Epstein Island. He said he's firm on this. But in the documentary, they had a witness, this guy who was in charge of all the technology on Epstein Island, like the satellites, the television, and they had their own Wi-Fi network. He worked there for years. And he, under oath, says, yeah, I saw Clinton on the island. Like, totally. So maybe Biden was like, well, I can't do this because then Clinton is going to, take the heat. Right. So what? So what? I mean, again, and there's no one aside from Prince Andrew as far as the documentary is concerned, was there any witness to any nefarious deeds? But just open it all up. Open it all up. And Ghislaine, do not give her immunity deal. Like, she was just as complicit. Took place in this recruited. It was a Ponzi scheme of minors. like trying to recruit these people for Jeffrey Epstein. It's disgusting. So disgusting. All right, when we come back, I'm going to shift gears. I need to cleanse my palate. Danny Houston, the actor from Yellowstone, is going to join us live. First, though, at 9:46 on this everly increasing warming Tuesday, let's check the roads out there. How we doing, Mike Shields?
Overall, it's still dealing with morning volume, Mark, but unusual delays as you leave Ellenwood into Stockbridge this morning. Once again, right lane roadwork set up today, 675 southbound as you approach Highway 42. Already on and off the brakes as you leave Forest Parkway. You can always use Moreland Avenue, Highway 42 as a quick alternate to avoid those brake lights through downtown. 7585 north and southbound still filled up between 17th Street and University Avenue. This report is brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. No more data, so you can stream your jam mix on loop. Switch to Straight Talk and get Unreal Unlimited data with a reliable 5G network. Straight Talk available at straighttalk.com or at Walmart. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
In Atlanta, there is always something happening.
Tanker truck crashed into the median.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
No traffic getting through in either direction.
Helping you on your commute.
Avoid the area at all costs. Take Highway 155 or Highway 4223.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Heavy rain, high winds, huge hail. Yes, Atlanta, we're in storm season. It's Mark Arum here. You might be faced with a roof repair or a replacement. Do not gamble with any contractor, and there are hundreds of roofers with little to no experience. I want you to trust the experts at Dr. Roof. Trusted name in roofing for over 35 years and backed by their industry-leading warranties. Dr. Roof doesn't cut corners. They're the best at protecting your biggest investment. Dr. Roof, done right, guaranteed.
Multiple contractors and estimates for your home projects? What a hassle. Instead, trust the Plus. Painting Plus.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. We're reliable, fully licensed, and insured. No muss, no fuss. Trust the Plus and leave everything on your list to us.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
This is Scott Slade, and it's hard to believe I've been on the radio in Atlanta for 41 years. And for most of those years, the great people at Ragsdale Heating and Air have been taking care of their customers. Customers like me, with many employees with the company for 10, 20, even 30 years. When you get that kind of continued dedication to real service from employees who really care, it pays off. Witness over 10,000 five-star reviews from their many years of business. If your AC isn't working right, click RagsdaleAir.com or call them. Going on 3 decades, Ragsdale is the name I know you can trust.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
And we're back with attorney Ken Nugent. What do you say to people with wreck injuries?
I say call Ken.com and get the maximum settlement possible. Faster. One call, that's all.
Watch Ken go! Call Ken.com.
9:50 on the Mark Arum Show. Going to head to D.C. and New York later on in the program. Going to update some big stories there. But coming back to you know the song, the theme to Yellowstone. Joining us live, star of Yellowstone, actor Danny Houston. Danny, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning. Thank you.
Big fan of yours and of Yellowstone. How did you wind up getting cast as that character in Yellowstone? What was that process like?
Well, it was early days. We didn't really know it was going to be a success. It was the first time that any kind of it was Paramount Plus, but the first time any Plus had put after any network's name. And Taylor Sheridan had written these fantastic scripts. And I knew that Kevin Costner was involved, and I arrived in this dusty town, and we've shot both in Colorado and in Utah, and enjoyed myself and got beat up by a lot of cowboys.
Yes, indeed. I mean, obviously a runaway hit show. But what I love is your versatility. So obviously you played your character on Yellowstone, and now you are in one of the most highly anticipated comedies of my lifetime, Naked Gun. What's your role in Naked Gun? And tell us about this updated version of the movie.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the sort of antithesis of Yellowstone in a way. I read the Naked Gun script, and I just laughed out loud, real belly laughs. I knew that Liam Neeson was involved. I've worked with Liam a couple of times before, and I just was it made me feel so good, and I was excited to be part of this silly, stupid, but yet sharply written, a piece of comedy, which is a sort of tonic that we all need right now. I feel, with all the horrors around the world, it's just great to be sit in a theater with a bunch of people and just hear the laughter spread.
Yeah, and most people know. Most people know Liam Neeson from his, serious roles like Taken, but I've seen he is a funny man. Like the comedy is actually his sweet spot when it comes to acting.
Yes, it is, and we had an agreement together that if things got a little too funny, because part of the trick is that the characters don't know that they're in a comedy. We're playing it straight,
exactly,
and the humor comes from the situation and from the dialogue and what we're saying to each other. But so we had this little sort of safety trick where we wouldn't, if we found things if we started giggling, we'd look at each other at the forehead level and not in the eyes, and that worked up to a point. But there were other situations where it was just impossible not to giggle, and you kind of needed a teacher in a class to sort of separate us. But unfortunately, we had to do these scenes. And that was a real challenge at times.
I can't wait. I was a fan of the original, and I trust you and Liam that this updated version is going to be equally as hilarious. While I have you, Danny, you starred in one of my favorite movies of all time, and I think one of the most underrated movies of all time, called Children of Men. Came out in 2006. I think it was ahead of its time. But I mean, yeah. It's a masterpiece of a movie.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it in your voice before you mentioned the title. It was very much ahead of its time. Directed by Alfonso Cuarón, and it's sort of dystopian future, isn't it? And it's beautifully made, beautifully shot. I have a scene which is at Battersea Power Station, which is a cover of a Pink Floyd album with a floating pig in the background, and it was great to be part of something that still has a lot of resonance today. It's still a comment today, a fresh comment today, I believe.
It really, I mean, it's just such an amazing. You were so good in that. Clive was amazing, folks. If you haven't watched it, check out Children of Men. I'm sure it's streaming everywhere. All right, back to Naked Gun. When and where and how can we see the updated version?
So it's August 1st, and it's nationwide. Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson. There's a wonderful spark between the two of them. She plays into the femme fatale in the most delicious, sexy, enticing, and yet sensitive, delicate way. She's quite something in it, and the two of them are a joy to see them work together. There's one sequence which is with a snowman, and it's completely off book and ridiculous, and an utter joy.
August 1st, nationwide release. We'll certainly watch it here in Atlanta. Danny, appreciate your time. Big fan. Best of luck in the future, my friend.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Legendary actor Danny Houston, Yellowstone, Children of Men, Naked Gun. Vinny, you've obviously, Longoria, you grew up with Naked Gun.
Oh, yeah.
Frank Drebin.
Oh, yeah.
Did the younger kids even know about that?
I don't think so. I really don't.
Probably not a movie that, parents will say, hey, Vinny, did your dad Naked Gun?
I'm not familiar.
O.J. Simpson?
No.
No? All right. You got to watch those before you watch the updated version. Much like I did with Happy Gilmore. So Deborah and Maya has never seen the original Happy Gilmore.
Oh,
So-
you watched the sequel?
No, well, I was like, I'm not letting you watch the sequel until you watch the first one, because I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of references to the first one.
There are.
So many.
So we watched the first one 2 days ago, and she loved it. She was laughing out loud. I had seen it in a long time. I'd forgotten a lot of the... so now we're caught up to date, and we'll watch the sequel. I'm getting mixed reviews. Vinny says it's great. Erickson says it's great. My buddy Mark Wohlers, former closer from the Braves, he was disappointed. So I don't know.
I feel like you kind of know what you're getting when you watch those kind of Adam Sandler movies. And you have to just go into it knowing that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll have a review next week. Danny Houston, Naked Gun, in theaters everywhere August 1st. All right, when we come back, updating our top local stories, we'll go back to New York, get the latest on the mass shooting there. And still to come, Scott Slade's going to join us live talking about the MLK files that the FBI released. And Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Sir Rod Stewart. Unbelievable. Social media is active, at Mark Ehrman, at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Men's Choice Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. Katz with Choice Men's Health. Regardless of your age or medical condition, Choice Men's Health can safely restore your potency. Our customized solutions can eliminate your problem in just one visit. There's no pain, no surgery, and it's affordable.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health. The only choice for your health.
We're all getting long in the tooth, friends. Am I right? What about your heating and cooling systems? Are they aging? Well, let Reliable Heating and Air protect your AC from breakdowns and your budget. Just $14.99 a month. Reliable Heating and Air, licensed, bonded, and insured. Amazing service. I can tell you firsthand, Reliable is the best. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. No deductibles, no claims or paperwork, no service fees, just amazing coverage for as low as $14.99 a month. And next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. So protect your aging heating and cooling system with the amazing folks at Reliable Heating and Air. Just $14.99 a month gives you amazing peace of mind. Get all the info and schedule a consultation online at ReliableAir.com. That's ReliableAir.com. Don't wait until your aging systems go kaput. Get your protection now at ReliableAir.com.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We know you turn to us for traffic and weather, so let's start with that this hour. If you drive in Atlanta, then this will be no surprise to you. Atlanta is landing near the top of a new ranking of the nation's worst gridlocks. Consumer Affairs' Lauren Jobe says Atlanta has the 5th worst traffic in the country, up 3 spots from last year.
Drivers are losing about 53 days a year just to gridlock roads.
She says daily congestion lasts about 5 hours a day. That's 35 minutes worse than the year before. The average commute is just over 31 minutes now. The good news, bad traffic is usually an indicator of a strong economy and job opportunities. Now, the weather. Dangerous heat across much of the U.S., with more than 165 million Americans in for a heat index of more than 100 today. And folks are doing what they can to beat the heat, like getting to the pool to cool off. But even the kids are complaining about the heat.
It's absolutely steaming hot. I don't know how hot it is, but it is hot.
It is hot, and there is a new life jacket loaner station dedicated in the memory of a longtime advocate of recreational boating safety. So if you're headed to the water today, wear the life jacket.
He just loves saving lives.
Brianna Day says the new life jacket loaner station at Allatoona Landing's public boat ramp is the perfect continuation of her late husband, Captain Chris Day's passion, boating safety. Allatoona lakegoers will see a photo and bio of Day and fit instructions as they choose the right size life jacket and bring it back when done.
If you forget a life jacket, if you think you don't need one that day, if you don't have enough on the boat, we want them to be ready and accessible for anyone to grab.
Brianna Day says even strong swimmers should think about coming home to their families at night.
If you don't want to wear it for yourself, wear it for them.
Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
All right, and we are under that heat advisory today. Hot, humid, afternoon highs around 96. Our heat index, according to Channel 2 Action News meteorologist Brad Nitz, anywhere from 100 to 105. All right, New York City Mayor Eric Adams saying this morning that a gunman who killed 4 people at a Manhattan office building was trying to target the headquarters of the National Football League, but took the wrong elevator. Adams says in an interview this morning that investigators believe that Sean Tamuro of Las Vegas was trying to get to the NFL offices after shooting several people Monday in the building lobby, but accidentally entered the wrong set of elevator banks. Will Reeve has more.
In a note to employees of the NFL, one of the high-profile tenants of 345 Park, Commissioner Roger Goodell sharing that a league employee was seriously injured in the attack. He is in the hospital in stable condition, and Goodell also writing that employees should work from home at least for today, adding, quote, "We will get through this together."
4 people, including an off-duty New York City police officer, were killed. Police said that the suspect had a history of mental illness, and a rambling note found on his body suggests that he had a grievance against the NFL over an unsubstantiated claim that he suffers from a progressive neurodegenerative disease caused by repeated head trauma. Sandy Springs-based UPS reporting a decline in profits. The shipping giant reporting $1.28 billion in net income for the second quarter. That's down nearly 9% from a year ago. Earlier this month, UPS announcing that it would offer voluntary buyouts to all of its full-time drivers for the first time in its history. And Atlanta-based Norfolk Southern joining forces with Union Pacific to create the first transcontinental railroad in the U.S.
Both companies agreed to a merger in a cash and stock deal valued at $85 billion. The deal combines Norfolk Southern's rail network on the East Coast with Union Pacific's rail network on the West Coast. The company headquarters will be in Omaha, but Union Pacific says Atlanta will remain a core location as it acquires Norfolk Southern.
And WSB Cheryl Castro reports that the deal still needs approval from shareholders and the Surface Transportation Board. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow is down 28 at 44,808. NASDAQ is in positive territory, but only slightly, and so is the S&P. Let's get a check of your roads now. Smiling Mark McKay joining us from the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Morning, Sabrina. We have construction up and running and delays out of Ellenwood headed south on I-675. JamCam shows the jam as you work your way south toward that construction. Only a left lane is open on 675 southbound before exit 2, Highway 42. Northbound 75 up to the airport along with 85 doing well. Once you get above Hartsfield into downtown, Atlanta connector is struggling from University Avenue, exit 244. Headed toward Midtown. 85 and 400 still a bit slow out of Buckhead and northeast Atlanta, especially rolling south towards 17th Street. Smiling Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad, and it's hot and humid today, high around 96, heat index 100 to 105, heat advisory until 9 p.m. We'll have scattered showers and storms this afternoon and evening, rain chance for one spot 40%. That goes up to 60% Wednesday afternoon, high 92.
It is already hot out there. Peachtree City has 86 degrees. It's 84 in Marietta and Johns Creek. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Tuesday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The whole family with us today. Deborah's the executive producer of the program. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Low
guaranteed.
Down South Vinny screens your calls. Coming up in 30 minutes, Scott Slade's going to join us live, going in depth on the release by the FBI of the MLK files. 1 hour from now, we're going to go live to New York City, talk to Michael Wallace from CBS about the mass shooting there. Tragic stuff. This is New York City Mayor Eric Adams.
The note alluded to that he felt he had CTE, a known brain injury for those who participate in contact sports. He appeared to have blamed the NFL for his injury.
Yeah, the shooting occurred at the building where the NFL offices are in New York. A New York police officer among 4 people killed in that shooting. Again, in 1 hour, we're going to go live to Michael Wallace from CBS, get the story there. Tragic, tragic stuff. Again, the shooter took his own life, was 27 years old. Any new information on that, we will bring it to you live. I want to shift gears. Joining us is our buddy correspondent Rory O'Neill. Rory, yesterday on the show, I was sad to announce that Georgia ranked 38th in the nation in education, 38th. Now we've got new numbers when it comes to healthcare in Georgia. Please tell me that we rank better than 38.
Sorry, don't know how to go from there. No, 48th is the ranking for healthcare. 48th from the folks over at Wallet. You know, they break down these rankings into 3 categories: the cost of healthcare, access to healthcare, and then the outcomes. It's on access where Georgia ranks 48th, and on outcomes where the state comes in 45th. You do a little bit better, 36th, when it comes to the cost of healthcare. But to find the best in the country, you have to go to the Northeast. New Hampshire is number 1. Rhode Island is number 2. We'll sneak Massachusetts in there at number 5.
Wow, that's lower than I thought. I think my poor health is bringing down the whole state.
Well, yeah. Again, I think it's that it's that access number that is really difficult. You know, and I'm looking at Alaska, comes in number 50 out of 51 here. But Alaska sort of gets a bad rap. They're ranked 51st in the cost, and you can see why, right? The getting to hire doctors and staff to live up in Alaska probably costs extra, but their access and their outcomes are actually sort of midpoint, like in the 20s and upper 30s. So it's the cost there that drags them way down on the list.
Yeah, I remember Northern Exposure. You remember that TV show about the
Sure.
doctor that went to Alaska?
Marveled.
Limited. All right, so limited. I wonder how that breaks down versus suburban, rural, and urban areas in Georgia. That's interesting that we're that low. One more quick story, Rory, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Couple weeks ago, I went to Vegas, was out there for the World Series of Poker for a little bit. I didn't see any decline in tourism. Again, it was everyone was there for the World Series of Poker, but apparently workers in Vegas are getting concerned over the lack of tourism and the lack of tips coming in.
Yeah, there's been a big drop-off in travel to Las Vegas. In the first 6 months of the year, travel is down 6.5% overall. When it comes to hotels, specifically occupancy in June, down 14% year over year, with revenue per available room declining by almost 20%. So this is pretty serious stuff. About 180,000 people in Metro Las Vegas work for tips. So when you have fewer people, fewer tips, that really hurts a lot of the household income, and it's getting to become an issue. And several reasons for it. One, domestic travel in the U.S. is down. We're seeing airlines even pull back the number of seats that are available. Two, there's a lot more competition for your gambling dollar. A lot more states have legalized some sort of betting, either with casinos or with online sports betting. You know, just get the app for your phone, that kind of a thing. And then a lot of people are being priced out of Vegas. You know, it's not sort of the cheap weekend with an all-you-can-eat buffet for 99 cents anymore. It's a high-end escape, and maybe one of the first things to go as families are tightening their budget.
Where might I find Rory in Vegas? Craps table, blackjack, roulette. Where are you found?
The bar. Yeah, no, I'm, and also trying to not be at the blackjack table, which is what I probably play. The only game I really understand, sort of. But not really. I don't know, that noise, that dinging noise. Oh, by the of the slot machines, I am just over it after about 20 minutes.
Well, when in doubt, Rory, you can find me at the buffet. Rory O'Neill, interesting stuff as always, my friend.
Thanks, Mark.
Lots to unpack there. I want to start, Deborah, with the healthcare numbers in Georgia. That's stunning to me. 48th in the nation. I don't see that, and I want to see the numbers broken down better. And as Rory mentioned, there was a lack of access to health care in Georgia. I would imagine that is mostly impacted by extremely rural areas of Georgia where, if you live in Metro Atlanta, there's a dock in the box now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every other traffic light. So that the access is there, but maybe in rural Georgia, closing of rural hospitals, I don't know, not attractive area to live. I'm not me saying that, but like a doctor, oh, where are you gonna practice? Oh, you just graduated from Harvard Medical School. Where are you going? Oh, I'm going to Bainbridge, right? Maybe it's, but 48th. Holy cow. That's not good. Now, I understand not a majority. Some of us enjoy Southern food too much, and that's probably not great for our health. But 48th, that was stunning to me that we're that low when it comes to health care. I'm going to go in depth on that. I want to get the data from Wallet Hub and see how much accessibility is. Because, listen, we were just at the Arthur M. Blank Hospital. We've got, and I believe Sabrina, our health reporter, did a story that they just released the best hospitals in the nation, and a bunch of them are in Metro Atlanta, right? You've got Emory, you've got Northside, you got Piedmont, Children's Healthcare. So I don't know. I'm not saying I don't believe we're 48th, but I want to see where they got to that number. The second part there Rory was talking about was lack of tourism in Las Vegas, which brings us to our next story, Deborah. Spirit Airlines. I'm not judging. I've never flown. I don't know anything about them. But so many fewer people are flying the friendly skies. Spirit Airlines is bracing for a massive, massive curtailation of flights and employees.
Yeah, Spirit Airlines is going to furlough 270 pilots this fall, and then they're also going to downgrade about 140 pilots. They're going to become from captain down to first officer. Now, if you remember a couple months ago or earlier this year, they had filed for Chapter 11. So they've been trying to kind of adjust after that. And Spirit, for the long time, was kind of like this budget bare bones, very little. Well, they're trying to kind of change that because they realize less people want that. They want more of the upscale thing. And so far, that hasn't really worked for them yet.
That's there's a lot to talk about there. So how many people are getting furloughed? How many pilots? 270?
They're saying 270 pilots will be furloughed and 140 are going to go from captain to first officer.
What would you, if you're a pilot for Spirit, would you rather be furloughed, which is like, hey, we're going to try to bring you back when you can, or get demoted? Well, I mean, that's an interesting would you rather. I don't want to get demoted, right? You work hard to get to, you said captain to first mate or whatever. I don't know. I think I'd rather be furloughed. Let me go out and apply to Delta or Southwest. Or I don't want to get demoted. That'd be like taking the manager stripes off of Longoria. And be like, hey, you're no longer, you might welcome that, but I don't want to be because then when you apply for another job, it's like, oh, you weren't even you got demoted. That's a not a good thing on your resume. So I would do that. Speaking of Spirit Airlines, Peter Greenberg, our travel expert, has been telling us about, all these possible merging. And it keeps getting shot down by regulatory commissions or whatever. A reminder that the Peter Greenberg Experience is coming to Atlanta, the WSB Live Lounge, Monday, August 4th, 6 to 8 p.m. at the WSB Radio Studios. This incentive still active from the WSB Carathon. $200 donation gets you and a friend in. You get dinner catered by Loving Spoonfuls, an amazing outfit, does amazing work. And then I'll be there, too, so you get to meet me and CBS Travel editor Peter Greenberg, a.k.a. the Travel Detective. There are a couple of seats still left for that. So if you want to get more travel information from Peter Greenberg and eat a meal with me, I'm not going to give you much travel expertise, but Peter certainly will, and we'll share a chicken piccata and rice and green beans. I think that's what's on the menu. Don't hold me to that. But if you want, WSBradio.com/Carathon, a couple of seats left for the Peter Greenberg Experience. Well, one more bad economic story, and this finally, to me, makes sense. You might remember I was very upset. I'm going to choose my language carefully. There was this country restaurant on La Vista Road. I can't remember the name of it now. But when I moved to my new neighborhood, I was very excited. It was an all-you-can-eat buffet, Southern cooking, fried chicken, mashed potato. And I had to go there for lunch, Longoria, after the show, and I loved it. And all of a sudden, and it was always busy, all of a sudden they're like, we're going out of business. And I was heated. I'm like, what the? Like, all these restaurants keep closing near my house.
Closing all of them.
All of them. McDonald's closed. Long John Silver's, like Popeye, all these. And so I took it personally. As Michael Jordan said, and I took that personally. So I asked someone in the know, I'm like, well, what's going to happen with this buffet? Is someone going to come in and do another buffet? They're like, no, a bank bought it, and they're going to put up a new bank branch. And I'm like, why are you building, in 2025, why are you building new banks? And there's 4 banks within walking distance of this amazing Southern buffet restaurant. It's like it's a banking desert. Finally, the banks are coming to their sense, Deborah, and they're starting to close branches now instead of open new branches.
More banks are closing their branches, not just in Georgia or near Mark's house either. It's across the country. Wells Fargo closed 31 this year, Bank of America 115, while Chase closed about 8. And, of course, more people are using digital bankings, but you also have an older generation that are concerned about the number of the actual branches closing because they still like to go there every once in a while and talk to people.
Yeah, sure. I understand. I went there before I went to Vegas. I went and I was like, I need money. So I need more than the ATM will give me, so please do it. So I went to the bank and it was great. A safety deposit box, another reason. But I don't understand the need for more and more banks being built. I think that this is a good thing that banks are, use the property for other stuff. More buffets. We don't need bank branches. We need some, but not as many. Anyway, finally, the banking industry is seeing light. Meanwhile, they're doing nothing. There's no bank yet. That beautiful restaurant is still standing, but it's closed. Maybe we can get some investors and open up. Mark Arum, Southern Cooking. We'll spitball the name of my Southern Cooking restaurant. Smiling, you might have a suggestion. If I were to open up a Southern buffet restaurant, you and I could do it together. Mark and Mark's Country Cooking.
Oh, see? Brilliant, Mark.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, we're stacked up like we're lined up for a buffet out of Ellenwood this morning. Stacked up traffic due to right lane construction on 675 southbound. Only a left lane getting by at Highway 42 exit 2. So a little extra delay as you leave Ellenwood headed south toward Stockbridge. Still seeing delays through downtown Atlanta, especially at the merge where I-20 meets the connector northbound. That ramp still all jammed up headed north toward John Lewis Freedom Parkway. And the delays out of Gwinnett County and Norcross starting to ease, still a little slow, 85 southbound at Pleasant Hill Road. This report sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Need more data so you can stream your jam mix on loop? Switch to Straight Talk and get real unlimited data on a reliable 5G network. Straight Talk, available at straighttalk.com or Walmart. Smile and Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
You're by the pool.
You're relaxing.
You're sipping a drink.
Someone brings you a towel.
Adjust the umbrella.
Sound like a fantasy?
It's not.
This is Sandra from Grayson, Georgia. I just won $1,000 from WSB.
WSB's $1,000 Thursdays this Thursday.
Listen for the keyword at 9, 10, and 11 a.m. and 12, 1, 2, and 3 p.m.
Enter the keyword at WSBradio.com or the WSB app.
I just put the keyword in, and oh my God.
Win $1,000. Get all the info at WSBradio.com.
Thank you.
$1,000 Thursdays from 95.5 WSB.
Where Atlanta wins.
If you've ever organized your closet only to have it look like a bomb went off in there 1 month later, then it's time to call Artisan Custom Closets. Reach-in closets, walk-in closets, pantry spaces, garages. With a custom spacious closet from Artisan, you'll never have to deal with all that clutter again. All your stuff neatly organized and designed to stay that way. Call the Closet Bomb Squad, Artisan Custom Closets. They'll diffuse your clutter and make it safe to enter your closet again. ArtisanCustomClosets.com.
Buying a car shouldn't be a mystery. Hi, I'm Stacey Ellis, Vice President of the Jim Ellis Automotive Group. At Jim Ellis, we believe in complete transparency because you deserve to know exactly what you're getting. That's why we show you all the numbers, no hidden fees, no surprises. We explain every option clearly so you can make the right decision with confidence. And if you ever have questions, we have answers. Our team is here to guide you, making sure you're informed and in control every step of the way. At Jim Ellis Automotive, we don't want to sell you just any car. We want to help you buy the right car because doing the right thing for you is what matters most to us. Experience car buying the way it should be. Honest, straightforward, and built around you. And don't forget, Jim Ellis buys cars too. It's the safe and easy way to get maximum value for your car. To get started, visit one of our 21 convenient locations across Metro Atlanta or shop online at jimellis.com. The quick, easy, and convenient way to search and compare more than 5,500 cars, trucks, and SUVs. Jim Ellis Automotive, where you can always expect the best.
Worried about market losses? If headlines are keeping you up at night, it's time to take control. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I know you've worked hard to save. But in times like these, what if can turn into what now? If you're planning to retire or are in retirement, you need a strategy that helps protect your future. At Trajan Wealth, you can capture market gains, protect your account from losses, and guarantee income for life. Right now, you could receive a bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. You heard me right. An upfront bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10%, all guaranteed to boost your lifetime income in retirement. Don't leave your future to chance. Plan with confidence. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company, DBA, in most states, as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
Mona Lisa, men have named you.
Nat King Cole singing Mona Lisa. If I asked 100 people the most famous painting in the world, 99 would say what, Longoria?
Mona Lisa?
Vinny, you know what the Mona Lisa is if I said...
The staring lady, yeah.
The staring lady, yes. How did the Mona Lisa become the world's most famous painting? Because it always wasn't. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show, by the way. I found this fascinating yesterday. So if you went back 250 years, most people in the world would never have heard of the Mona Lisa. It was a Da Vinci. It was a good painting, hung in the Louvre, but it wasn't a main attraction in the Louvre. It was just a nice painting. That all changed around turn of the century. I believe it was 1911-ish, prior to World War I. The Mona Lisa got stolen out of the Louvre. All right. And no one noticed for 2 days. That's how unfamous the painting was. Someone at the Louvre's like, hey, wasn't there a painting there the other day? Headline went out. Painting Mona Lisa stolen from the Louvre. Worldwide. Huge search. A Da Vinci great. There were thoughts that the Germans stole it. There were thoughts that, or theories that some American stole it. American art collector. Turns out it was a worker at the Louvre that stole the Mona Lisa, an Italian guy. He brought it back to Italy because he wanted to bring it back to the motherland. But then the story blew up, and he couldn't sell it because everyone was looking for it. So he kept it in his apartment for 2 years. The Mona Lisa just hanging up in this dude's apartment in Rome. And then finally he's like, well, let me see if I can get some money for it. He wanted to sell it. So he goes to an Italian art gallery. He's like, hey, I brought the Mona Lisa home. Do you want to buy it from me? Psh, they dropped a dime, call the cops. He's arrested. The Mona Lisa gets back. Before that, the Mona Lisa was not the most famous piece of art in the world. Isn't that fascinating?
I didn't even know that story.
Me either.
I just found out yesterday. Isn't that crazy? And you can ask anyone.
Da Vinci's other work, too, it might not even be like his best piece
Exactly.
Oh, it's not his best work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now everyone knows. If you're 4 years old or 94, name a painting. You don't have to say what's the most famous painting in the world. You're going to say Mona Lisa. Some people can't even come up with a second painting. And it's all because of that story, because it went viral in 1911. That's what going viral was.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got to wait hours to see the Mona Lisa. It's behind like glass and there's partition. You can't even get close to that puppy.
I think you need a separate ticket now.
Exactly.
It's a ticket with inside a ticket, yeah.
But back in the day, they didn't know it was missing for 2 days. But there's no other thing you can ask anyone on the planet. You could be like, what's the most famous song in the world? You're going to get a million different answers. What's the best movie of all time? You're going to get a million. But everyone, billions of people, you say, what name a painting? And they're going to say the Mona Lisa. I just thought that was fascinating. I just absolutely love that story. I had no idea till yesterday. Vinny doesn't know Naked Gun, but he knows Mona Lisa. I want to hear a little of Nat King Cole. Another thing, by the way, I watched the documentary on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Oh, how was that?
It was amazing. I don't know much about Ed Sullivan. He retired before I was born and then died before I was born. But Ed Sullivan, like the Ed Sullivan Theater in New York City, the OG late night host. You've seen the famous pictures of or videos of Elvis and the Beatles. Like, I had no idea about his background. Crazy story. But he was a groundbreaker. Before Ed Sullivan, no one on television would let black performers on. Like he put on Nat King Cole, James Brown. He was the one that opened the door. It was a fascinating documentary. I didn't know much about Ed Sullivan. The older listeners, every Sunday night, apparently. I think that's what it's called, Sunday night something. Definitely worth checking out. Great documentary. And the dude lived in a hotel his whole life, which I totally respect. Oh. Ed Sullivan and his wife just hanging out, chilling in a hotel. All right, Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, Scott Slade's going to join us live in depth on the FBI MLK files. That's next on The Mark Arum Show.
Are just a cold and lonely, lovely work of art.
Trust is not just a word, it's an experience. When your home needs service, you can trust TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Hey, it's Chris Chandler. TE is the company I trust to fix any problem once and for all. Their 5-star customer experience means easy online scheduling, friendly technicians, and a lifetime workmanship warranty, so I can just sit back and relax.
TE Certified, we love your home.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Overhead Door Company of Atlanta is hiring residential garage door technicians and installers. You can earn a hiring bonus up to $2,500. Apply today at overheaddooratlanta.com. overheaddooratlanta.com.
Our research shows the #1 fear for retirees: uncontrollable economic and market swings. And after the last 5 years, that's totally understandable. But here's the good news. Happy retirees are twice as likely versus unhappy to have a financial plan. A plan can calm those worries. My team at Capital Investment Advisors would love to help your family build a plan you can feel confident about. Just pick a time that works for you at yourwealth.com. That's yourwealth.com.
Is your heating and cooling system so old you can't remember when it was installed? If so, it's time to get protection from Reliable Heating and Air. Hey, friends, it's Mark Arum. Check this out. Let Reliable Heating and Air protect your AC from breakdowns and your budget. Just $14.99 a month. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. No deductibles, no claims or paperwork, no service fees, just coverage for your aging AC and heating systems. Get all the information you need online at reliableair.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by your Metro Atlanta AMCO dealers. We are under a heat advisory here in the Metro Atlanta area. The heat index today between 100 and 105. High school athletes are making some adjustments during this heat wave. At Benjamin E. Mays High School, athletic director Natasha Harrigan says they've moved up football practice to early, 6 a.m.
It just really decreases any kind of heat illness.
She says they do temperature checks every 30 minutes to keep players safe. And as Georgia remains under the broiler, there's a reminder about your animals.
With heat index values pushing temperatures across the state into the triple digits, Georgia Agriculture Commissioner Tyler Harper is reminding farmers and pet owners to make sure they take extra care when it comes to heat-related precautions for animals.
It's being able to refresh itself, in some cases providing misters or fans and ensuring that we have proper ventilation.
He says most farmers already have things in place to keep livestock safe, but Harper says it's important to check on animals regularly to make sure they aren't overcome by the heat. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. A new report puts Atlanta among the worst cities in the country for your daily commute.
Atlanta moves up 3 spots in Consumer Affairs' annual report ranking the cities with the worst traffic in the country, now at number 5. The organization's Lauren Jobe says Atlanta drivers are spending a lot of time in the car.
Daily congestion lasts about 5 hours a day, which is 35 minutes worse than the year before.
That adds up to an average commute of a little over 31 minutes, but she says congestion is typically an indicator of a strong economy and job opportunities. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Investigators believe the man who killed 4 people at a Manhattan office building yesterday was targeting the NFL offices there. Correspondent Michael Wallace has more.
Shane Tamura of Las Vegas was carrying a note blaming his CTE on the NFL, but he took the wrong elevator and never reached the league's offices. He never played in the NFL, only high school ball. New York City Mayor Eric Adams told CBS Mornings police officer Diderol Islam was among those killed.
We lost a fine young man through this senseless act of violence.
Adams is upset Tamura had documented mental health issues but still had a gun license in Nevada.
It is 10:32. There will be no holiday in the park this year at Six Flags Over Georgia. The park saying the decision was made due to, quote, evolving business needs. Six Flags saying that they do plan to instead focus on enhancing the guest experience during core operating season. Fright Fest will return this fall, according to Six Flags. Atlanta-based Norfolk Southern and Union Pacific are joining forces to create the first transcontinental railroad in the United States in a cash and stock deal valued at $85 billion. The company's headquarters will be in Omaha, but Union Pacific says Atlanta will remain a core location as it acquires Norfolk Southern. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 30 at 44,807. NASDAQ is up, but only slightly, and so is the S&P. Let's get a check of traffic and weather. We start with Mark McKay and the WSB 24-hour traffic center. He has a look at your roads.
And the slow road out of Ellenwood this morning, Sabrina, has to do with right lane construction. Travel advisory. I-675 southbound is stacked up, headed towards Stockbridge. That construction in that right lane is 675 south at exit 2. That's Highway 42. I-20 slowing past Six Flags. Right lane's crowded, approaching I-285. Your 285 delays across the north side. Little slow eastbound, leaving I-75 into Sandy Springs. And westbound, shaking things out finally between Doraville and Dunwoody. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. Hot and humid, showers and thunderstorms will be scattered this afternoon and evening, but outside of that temporary relief from the heat, we'll top out around 96, heat index 100 to 105. We'll dry up overnight down to 76, then scattered showers and storms a little more numerous on Wednesday. Rain chance 60%, high 92.
86 degrees in Chamblee, 87 in Fairburn. Here in Midtown Atlanta, we have 86 degrees. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
The 25th annual WSB Radio Carathon.
2,125,255.
Wow. And we want to thank our friends over at Rocco's European Garage for their contribution and continued support for the kids at the Affleck Cancer and Blood Disorders Center at Children's. You can donate right now at WSBradio.com.
Your donation saves lives.
We rush the window in the direction where the helicopters are going, and then...
Following breaking news in New York.
Trustworthy.
We're going to go live, get the latest on the mass shooting there. But coming up next, in depth on the FBI's MLK files. Scott Slade in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show. Hey, friends, when was the last time you hopped out of bed without your knee or back screaming at you? Or walked down a flight of stairs without groaning, step by step? Let me guess, in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, it'll disappear, I'll tough it out, but nothing ever changes, does it? Hey, it's Mark Arum. Time to call and schedule that free consultation with the medical pros at QC Kinetics. There are thousands of patients who will tell you they wish they would have done it sooner. They turned around their lives with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that work with your body to help restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Natural cellular therapies, no scalpels, no pills, just long-term relief with no dreaded recovery. Bring your x-rays and your MRIs to QC Kinetics for a free, no-pressure chat and a thorough evaluation to see if you're a good candidate. Worst case, you learn something new. Best case, you get your life back. Grab the phone right now. Give them a call. 770-285-8026. Ask about that free consultation. 770-285-8026.
Man's best friend, loyal, trustworthy, dependable. Aw, that's Rufus, the bulldog, the chief barking officer for Findlay Roofing. The Roof guys. Dave Baker here. For over 30 years, Findlay Roofing's been your roof's best friend. Loyal with a lifetime warranty, trustworthy with upfront pricing, and dependable with the highest quality work. When it comes to your roof, think of Rufus and Findlay first. 0% financing available. FindlayRoofing.com.
Georgia Power is here for you with quick tips to help you save on your bill this summer. Change your HVAC filter and check vents for flow. Set your thermostat at 78 for max efficiency, but every degree closer helps. Because summer savings mean more to spend on what really matters. Visit GeorgiaPower.com for more energy-saving tips.
10:36 on this warming Tuesday. It's Tuesday, Mark Aram. Yes. It's going to be a 10 on the Mark Aram Show back sweat meter. I'm still out of sorts from the excitement we had last Thursday and Friday at the 25th annual WSB Carathon. Joining us live, the godfather of the Carathon, Mr. Scott Slade. Scott, how amazing was that?
You know, I'm still basking in the glow. That's probably the best way to put it. Our listeners are so fine. They're so good and embracing this cause with us, and I just can't thank them enough. And if you had asked me, hey, we're going to break a record this year, I mean, I couldn't have told you. But wow, they came through again.
Yeah, back-to-back years breaking the record. And I love this, when I had you on before the Carathon, I said, what's your goal this year, Scott? And I love the eloquence. You said...
the next dollar.
That's all. There's just the next dollar. And the next dollars kept coming in. $2.1 million raised for the Aflac Cancer and Blood Disorder Center at Children's. Thank you so much for getting this kicked off 25 years ago, Scott.
I want to thank you. I mean, man, you really put in the yeoman's work, the hours of hosting and the energy and the eloquence that you had. Thank you.
My pleasure. That's not work. Like doing the Carathon is not work to me. It's a joy. I love it. My favorite 2 days of the year. So thank you for the kind words. But I would do it 365. If they said, hey, we're doing the Carathon every day, I'm like, sign me up. I'm in. Scott, I'm glad you picked this topic today because we didn't really get to talk about it too much on the show. The newly released FBI MLK files. I know it was voluminous, right? A lot of stuff was released recently.
Oh, yeah. Thousands and thousands of pages. And Mark, like you, I've been wanting to speak to someone who's actually combed through the recent release of the FBI's MLK files. And it turns out Atlanta Journal-Constitution race and culture writer Ernie Suggs and his colleague Charles Minshew have done just that. What they found, what could come next, great report in the Sunday AJC over the weekend and is still up at ajc.com. Ernie tells me they had the opportunity to go really deep here.
Well, I mean, we're able to read everything that they submitted or everything they released. They released 240,000 sheets of documents, comprised over more than 6,000 PDF files. So Charles is our data specialist at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. We basically went through everything. Now, look, we didn't go through every 240,000 pages, but we basically were able to get a kind of a read as to what's in there. We're able to cross-check some things, cross-tab some things, search specifically for names. So we did a pretty comprehensive job in terms of reading the documents that the government suddenly dropped on us last Monday.
Well, how would you describe what you've seen?
Well, I would describe it as things that I've already seen before. You know, I've been covering Dr. King, the King family for more than 25 years, 25, 26 years. I've written a lot about them. I've seen a lot of documents. And what was released by the government is not new, particularly. It's not anything that any historian, any scholar, or anybody in the King family or journalist was surprised at. So there's nothing in there that's going to change our perception as to what happened during when Dr. King was assassinated. There's still the theory that James Earl Ray was the lone gunman. Obviously, it does bring to light or refocuses the attention that the FBI put on Dr. King in terms of their illegal surveillance. These are things that we already knew, but this is also an opportunity for readers and for people who are interested to kind of see the extent to which the FBI bugged him and harassed him and his family and his colleagues.
Speaking to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution's Ernie Suggs about the recent release of the FBI Department of Justice MLK documents, the reaction from the King children, their statement got my attention. You mentioned that it didn't break any new ground in what you saw in investigating the assassination of Dr. King. And I want to ask you about something that's confused me. The news release from Martin King III and Bernice King referred to the verdict in the wrongful death lawsuit in Shelby County, Tennessee, and saying, quote, the verdict also affirmed that someone other than James Earl Ray was the shooter and that Mr. Ray was set up to take the blame.
In 1999, I covered a civil case in Shelby County, Tennessee, as mentioned in my story, which was brought about to basically suggest that James Earl Ray was not the lone gunman, nor was he necessarily involved in the case. So the civil case pointed at several other figures, including a Greasy Spoon owner named Lloyd Jowers, members of the Memphis Police Department, of course, the federal government. The verdict in that case, and this is that 1999 case, concluded that Jowers, the police department, and the FBI or federal government were complicit in the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. and that James Earl Ray had nothing to do with that. Now, this is a civil case. It has nothing to do with the criminal case that was against James Earl Ray. However, the King family in this civil case confirmedly believe what the verdict says, that Jowers and other people were involved and that James Earl Ray was not involved. What your listeners may famously remember is that at some point in 1998, 99, Dexter Scott King went to jail to visit James Earl Ray, and James Earl Ray said that he had nothing to do with Dr. King's assassination, and Dexter said, "I believe you." So when you ask that question about that verdict, that is what that is about, that the King family has always believed that James Earl Ray was not involved in it, or at least not involved in it by himself.
Thanks for straightening that out. What's been the reaction of civil rights historians to the release of these Department of Justice documents?
Well, as you know, President Trump in January said that he was going to release the files of Martin Luther King Jr. as well as John F. Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy as it pertains to their assassinations. He released President Kennedy's first, then Robert's second, and then Dr. King's. No historian who follows these three gentlemen have been swayed by anything that they've seen. So to answer your question, all three of these document dumps have been pretty much duds in a sense of revealing anything new. So historians, scholars, people who have written a lot about these three men, as well as including Dr. King, have universally said that there is nothing new in any of these documents, that there is no new evidence, no new surprises, and nothing that jumps out at them that's going to make anyone change their thoughts about what has been the perception as to how these three men were assassinated.
Looking at these documents, I mean, it's a huge collection, everything from inter-office FBI memos to newspaper clippings from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. The only audio file in this first document MLK release is an interview with Ray's brother Jerry, who claimed that James Earl never expressed hatred for black people and doubted his guilt. Mark, there's another tranche of FBI MLK files set for release in 2027, and they include transcripts and summaries of the FBI wiretaps from King's hotel rooms, private residences, and the LC offices in Atlanta, recorded from 1963 to 1966. The Justice Department's pushing for an early release of those files before 2027. And backed by the King family, they're fighting to block that early release, calling the documents predatory attempt to discredit Dr. Martin Luther King. Mark.
Yeah, interesting. So I knew the family was against it. And I know, contemporaneously when it was going on, the FBI director had it out for Dr. King, thinking that saying boldly that the civil rights movement was just the infiltration of communism into the United States. Back to James Earl Ray, I hope textbooks have been updated since the late 90s, because I was taught it was James Earl Ray. That's it. He was the guy that killed Dr. King. I didn't know that he denied it and that there was other theories out there that he was not the lone gunman.
Well, that surprised me in that statement from Martin Luther King III and Bernice King. To be honest, I said, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And I guess I just wasn't paying attention during the civil lawsuit that Ernie was talking about just a moment ago, that the King family bought into the results, saying that no, James Earl Ray was not acting alone. So again, that surprised me, and maybe this next document dump will help clear some of that up.
Do we have any idea why the King family, what information is in that dump that's expected in 2027 that they don't want it released?
They did get a preview of the files, and these actually include transcripts and audio tapes of the wiretaps and bugging hotel rooms and the offices and that sort of thing. And it's been called sensitive and potentially embarrassing. But again, the King family is saying that no, this will just discredit the movement. It'll discredit our father, and it's not going to really advance the story any. But again, what they're trying to do is to keep it from being released before 2027. So it's on the docket to be released if nothing changes just a couple of years from now.
By the way, what an Atlanta treasure Ernie Suggs is, right? I mean,
yeah, he's great.
Good grief. What an amazing journalist and
he's great.
An archivist to go through. He and the staff at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. How many pages? 240,000? Yeah. Hopefully AI assisted in that search. But
probably so. Let me point out one thing. Ernie says that they made all this material available through their update on the story at AJC.com. So if anyone wants to sleuth through the files themselves, they're right there. They're accessible, and you can get to it.
I think I just gave Vinny some homework, or you just gave Vinny some homework. Scott, what's coming up on Scott Slade's Georgia this Thursday?
Oh, this is pretty cool. I'm talking to an independent filmmaker who has a docuseries called Unknown Ellijay, in search of the paranormal in the Northwest Georgia mountains and how that can be very good for tourism.
I'm hooked. I'm down. Speaking of documentaries, last segment, I don't know if you heard, I watched the Ed Sullivan documentary on Netflix the other night. I was not alive when Ed Sullivan owned Sunday nights. I was familiar, obviously, with Elvis's appearance and the Beatles' appearance. Highly recommend the Ed Sullivan documentary on Netflix right now.
Sunday night, it was appointment television. I was there, and Ed got all the big stars.
Indeed. Really good stuff. Scott, great stuff as always. We'll listen for you Thursday morning, my friend.
My pleasure, Mark. Have a great day. Stay cool.
You as well. And thanks again. The godfather of the Carathon and the WSB generous listeners, record-breaking over $2.1 million raised and climbing. You can still donate online at WSBradio.com. All right, 10:48 on the dot. Let's go back to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. What's the lowdown, Mark McKay?
Well, slow down on the west side perimeter out of Smyrna on Outer Loop 285 southbound, leaving South Cobb Drive exit 15. If there was a crash, got off to the right, could have been a stall as well on a travel lane at Hollowell Parkway exit 12. Improvement below Hollowell heading toward I-20 and eventually to Hartsfield-Jackson if you're using the west side perimeter at Camp Creek Parkway. Slow, and it will be through midday, early afternoon between Ellenwood and Stockbridge due to right lane construction. I-675 southbound is all stacked up approaching exit 2. That's Highway 42. That's putting a little extra early pressure on Moreland Avenue headed south this morning. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
When the news matters to you.
The massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The latest incident comes when a SWAT team is called after a suspect.
Your 24/7 news
They
source.
had no ties to a gang.
When you need the story, all you need to do is listen. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
Just a word of wisdom from your friend Mark Aram. A damaged roof doesn't always lead to an entire roof replacement project. As a full-service Atlanta roofing company, my friends at Dr. Roof offer comprehensive roof repairs that will lengthen the lifespan of your existing roof and ensure that it will continue to protect your home as it should. It's storm season. Get peace of mind from my friends at Dr. Roof. They've been in business for over 35 years. And Dr. Roof offers up to a 5-year warranty on roof repairs. Get all the info online at drroof.com.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Men's Choice Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. Katz with Choice Men's Health. Regardless of your age or medical condition, Choice Men's Health can safely restore your potency. Our customized solutions can eliminate your problem in just one visit. There's no pain, no surgery, and it's affordable.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health, the only choice for your health.
It's summer in Georgia, pool days, backyard barbecues, and that sweltering southern heat. You know, the inside of your home shouldn't feel like a sauna. Dave Baker here for Coolray Heating and Cooling, Plumbing and Electrical. You can turn your house into the ultimate cool escape with Coolray. Right now, get up to $2,250 in rebates plus free attic installation when you upgrade your HVAC to a complete Carrier system. Proper installation is like a sidekick for your HVAC, keeping cool air in and hot air out. And don't forget your plumbing this summer. For a limited time, get a $99 water heater flush to ensure your hot water stays running all summer long. No surprises during those morning showers. From cool comfort to smooth flowing plumbing, trust the Coolray team that's kept Georgia homes running for decades. Simply visit Coolray.com today to schedule your appointment. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
You know kids will ruin your life, right? Especially if you're a garage door. I mean, babies are adorable, don't get me wrong. But after that adorable phase where they barf and poop on everything, they turn into a cheap garage door's worst nightmare. Whacking tennis balls against the door all day, up and down every time they ride a bike. You dreamy young'uns might have the energy to start a family, but that rusty avocado green aluminum garage door that came with your house is too old for this jazz. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Modern, insulated garage doors are built to stand up to family life. They resist dents, they don't ring like a gong when you whack them with a puck, and they go up and down, super quiet, as many times as your kids change their minds. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll treat you like family.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Summer is peak hosting season, right? Don't let a grimy house keep you from having company over. It's Chris Chandler, and Wise Guys Pro Wash got my place clean and bright and guest ready in just one day. They handled everything, house and deck, driveway, even my dirty roof, and their soft wash kept everything safe. No paint peel, no damage, just clean. If you got people coming over this summer, be sure Wise Guys Pro Wash comes by first. Mention me, Chris Chandler, for $70 off at wiseguysprowash.com. Book now before they fill up.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
With great faith in the American people, I accept your nomination for President of the United States.
21 years ago, heard on WSB Radio, John Kerry, Massachusetts senator, accepted the Democratic nomination for president. I'm not going to lie, Deborah, I totally forgot he ran for president.
Yeah, that was before I was old enough to vote.
John, no, 200004?
Was it?
Yeah.
No, I forgot
how
to,
forgetful was the Kerry campaign? I was like, oh, yeah, he ran for president. I mean, unremarkable campaign, but to be fair to Kerry, it's tough to beat an incumbent president during a war, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, oh yeah, John Kerry. I forgot he ran for president. Anyway, that was 21 years ago today. All right, a couple of naked stories for your viewing pleasure, listening pleasure, I guess. First off, Google Street View. We all familiar with that? Longoria, have you checked out your house on Google Street View? Yeah. So I did on mine, and I blurred it now, so you can't see the less than palatial Aram estate. But this story cracks me up. Apparently, this guy was in the buff in his front yard when the Google machine came down. And if you go to his address, you see his bare bottom on Google Street View. He was pretty upset with this, and he sued Google. Deborah, what did the court say about his bare naked butt?
Yeah, so this was in Argentina, and maybe you've seen some of those Google cars rolling around. You never really know what they're capturing. And I mean, I've looked at my childhood house, and my dad's out there watering flowers, so it's kind of funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so this is in Argentina, and this man was in his yard, and I guess he was sunbathing. Now, there was a fence. He had a 6-foot-tall fence, but somehow Google still managed to catch his naked bottom. So he sued Google, and he has been awarded $12,500 for a violation of his privacy.
Well, then his butt isn't very noteworthy. Oh, that's it? $12,500?
Yeah.
I
guess he was a police officer, and it went viral online. And
I would have gotten
police officers.
12 mil at least.
No, I don't know about 12 mil, but $500,000, like for my bare bottom to be exposed. Interesting. The second naked story, and this is for you and me, Longoria. Apparently, there's a resort town that is not only fining women for walking topless, but men for going topless. This is in Europe, Deborah?
Yeah, this is on the Atlantic coast of France. It's,
okay.
Le Sable de Long. I don't speak French very well, so I apologize for the mispronunciation. But it's a resort town, and it's a hot spot for summer vacation. A lot of people come there. Well, the only problem is they want to be an upscale. They want to be a classier type city. So if they see people walking around in bathing suits or topless, specifically men, they're going to give them a $175 fine.
Oh, it's not bad enough we have man boobs. Now we have to pay a fine. Don't worry, Longoria and I would never walk around shirtless.
Yeah, you're never going to catch me.
You won't even see us on the beach topless. So I get it. You want to class up the joint. No shirt, no shoes, no service, $175 fine. That's reasonable. Not reasonable, though. Your butt became, internationally known because it's on Google Street View, and you only get $12K. Bad lawyer. Should have hired Phil Holloway. You could have gotten $500,000 on that puppy. All right, news, weather, and traffic less than 3. When we come back, following breaking news in D.C., a New York police officer, among 3 others, shot down in a mass shooting in Midtown Manhattan. We go live to New York City for the latest next on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. The one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in, we'll work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
news, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there. Good morning. It is 11 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. This is new at 11. Multiple Georgia cities have landed near the top of a ranking of the best places in the country for the food manufacturing industry.
Atlanta is 7th in the country in the new report from Global Location Strategies. The organization's Tess Fay says the metro also holds a unique distinction on the list.
Atlanta is one of only 2 large metropolitan areas in the U.S. that are within our top 10. The other one is Kansas City.
She says Georgia's a prime state for the industry because of its strong workforce and agriculture industry, along with great infrastructure. Warner Robins, Savannah, and Gainesville are also all within the top 10. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Another hot day on tap, dangerously hot, in fact. Heat index around 100 to 105, says Channel 2 Action News meteorologist Brad Nitz. He'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just about 2 minutes. Atlanta traffic can be bad, as you know, and a new Consumer Affairs report says an Atlanta driver spends an average of 31 minutes in their commute, and that makes it the 5th worst in the country.
It's taking away from time that, people could be spending with families, friends, other extracurricular activities.
That's the organization's Laura Jobe. She says Washington, D.C. takes the top spot. Police in New York City are getting closer to determining a motive for the mass shooting inside an office building. Officials say that a lone gunman killed 4 people, including 1 police officer. Another man's in critical condition this morning. Surveillance video shows the suspect walking into the building with a high-powered rifle held by his right arm. Several high-profile companies, including Blackstone and the NFL, have offices there. Officials believe the NFL was the target of the shooting. Retired FBI Special Agent Mary Ellen O'Toole shares more on how this investigation is going to be handled.
What they'll be looking into is what was the basis for the mental health hold that he had, I think, in 2022 and then last year in 2024. What happened that precipitated that, and what were the behaviors that were associated with that?
And there was a rambling note found on the suspect's body suggesting he had a grievance against the NFL over an unsubstantiated claim that he suffered from a progressive neurodegenerative disease caused by repeated head trauma. He did not play in the NFL, though. A growing number of Georgia's sea turtles are having trouble finding their way to the ocean, and CNN reports this morning that part of the problem is the highway lights associated with that new Buc-ee's in Brunswick. Conservationists cite high-mast lights being used at exit 42 on I-95 with causing the turtles to lose their sense of direction. Buc-ee's does not control those lights. Glenn County officials do. They say the lights are needed for public safety. 1 out of every 10 Americans is now a millionaire.
Who wants to be a millionaire?
The Swiss bank UBS says 23.8 million people in the U.S. have a net worth of at least $1 million, a 15-fold increase from 30 years ago. Each day, 1,000 Americans become millionaires.
But correspondent Michael Wallace says it's largely due to rising home values and 401ks, and although financial advisors warn being a millionaire does not hold the same status and financial power that it has in the past. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow is currently down 138 at 44,699. NASDAQ is up slightly, and the S&P is in the red. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Alex Williams. He has a look at the roads.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Found the reason for the slow zone on the west side outer loop in Smyrna. It's a crash, 2 center lanes, 285 southbound, the outer loop below South Cobb Drive, exit 15. You can take South Cobb Drive or I-75 south as your alternates there. Construction in Forsyth County, Georgia 400 southbound, passing Highway 141, Peachtree Parkway, exit 13, left lane block there. And on the south side, you still got that right lane construction causing the brake lights between Ellenwood and Ellenwood and Stockbridge, I should say. 675 southbound, Highway 42, exit 2. That construction blocks a right lane. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. Hot and humid today, high around 96. Heat index 100 to 105. Heat advisory until 9 p.m. We'll have scattered showers and storms this afternoon and evening. Rain chance for one spot, 40%. That goes up to 60% Wednesday afternoon, high 92.
86 degrees right now in Kennesaw. It's 88 in Norcross. Brookhaven has 89 degrees. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I'll run this town to be near you.
11:04 on a scorching Tuesday. Goodness gracious, Brad Nitz, high of 96, heat index up to 105. Definitely a 10 on the Mark Arum Show back sweat meter. Stay cool, my friends. Coming up in 30 minutes, we're going to chat with Jimmy Brown, drummer for UB40. He's in town next month with that legendary band. And Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Sir Rod Stewart. So hang tight. We'll get to that. Right now, though, continue our coverage of the breaking news we've been following all morning long. Deadly shooting in New York City. Joining us live from CBS News in the city, it's Michael Wallace. Michael, good morning. Thanks so much for your time.
Sure, anytime. Good morning.
Just a horrible story, a lot of layers to unpack. Where do you want to start? Let's start with the number of people that were killed in this mass shooting.
Yeah, 4, unfortunately. The gunman, Shane Shimura of Las Vegas, double parked his BMW out in front of 345 Park Avenue in the middle of Midtown, walked into the lobby and just started shooting with this M4 rifle. He killed 3 people in the lobby, then got on an elevator bank, apparently targeting the NFL offices upstairs, but he took the wrong elevator, ended up in the office of Rudin Management, the company that manages the building at 345 Park. He killed one more person there and then took his own life in a hallway up there.
One of the deceased, an off-duty New York police officer that was working security there. Apparently, so far in the investigation, we're led to think that he was targeting the NFL offices. Why do the authorities think that?
Yeah, well, he had a note on him that basically he wrote in which that he had CTE, and he blamed the brain injury on the NFL, even though by all accounts he never played in the NFL. He did play football in high school, but he was upset with the NFL, presumably for its handling or non-handling of the CTE issue. And, again, tried to get up to that NFL office, but used the wrong elevator bank, so he never made it. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has put out a statement calling it an unspeakable act of violence. One NFL employee, as fate would have it, was injured in the lobby and is in critical but stable condition, they say. The NFL says it has significant resources and is making counselors available to its employees there today.
Tragic story. Obviously, Michael, we're both familiar with covering mass shootings in our career, but what differentiates this one, I think, first off, he's from Vegas, but didn't take a direct route to New York City, kind of went city hopping on his journey to the Big Apple. What do we know about his planning or his route to New York City?
Yeah, it did. It was not a straight line for sure. It was more of a zigzag, an EKG readout across the country. So police are definitely going to have to look into that. We do know that he was in Colorado on Saturday, and then he arrived in New Jersey late yesterday afternoon, probably around 4:30 or so. And then at some point he made the drive into Manhattan, and the shooting happened around 6:30 p.m. So they're going to have to retrace that. They're retracing his social media. They're looking more into this note that he had on him about the CTE situation. They're looking at how he got the gun and where he got it from, this M4 rifle. Mayor Adams of New York City apparently upset this morning that he actually, this gunman, Tamura, had a gun license in Nevada, even though he had a well-documented mental health issue. So they're going to be looking into that. There's a lot of tentacles here.
Michael Wallace from CBS News in New York joining us live here on the Mark Arum Show. I think it was a still image of the suspect along Park Avenue. And if I'm reading viewing the picture correctly, the gun was visible, right? This was a long gun. This was a rifle.
This is a huge gun, probably as long as your leg. And from what you can tell in the picture, it almost has kind of a military camouflage paint job on it. And, a lot of people have asked, how is he walking from his car to the building carrying this huge gun, and no one seems to do anything? A couple of answers there. One, it wasn't that long a walk, so people, even if they did notice it, probably didn't have time to call, or if they did, they were still on the phone with police by the time the shooting happened. He walked into the lobby and started right away. But the other thing is, and I hate to say it, but this is New York City, and you see a lot of crazy stuff. I've been telling some other people this morning. Just the other day, I was walking down the street, and a guy coming at me was practicing with a samurai sword. But it's New York, and I didn't think twice of it. I just kind of gave him a little wider berth, and he walked on his way and kept going, kind of muttering to himself, playing with his sword. I mean, sadly, it's kind of the stuff you see these days in New York City. So people may have seen that huge gun that he was carrying and didn't think twice about it. Who knows?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Police are saying that the suspect had a, quote, documented mental health history. Michael, have we yet heard from the family of the suspect who took his own life yet?
I don't think we have. I haven't seen anything about that yet. It's certainly something that authorities are going to have to look into. We have heard from a couple of his friends or former friends, people who played football with him in high school in California, and some recent friends as well. They said he was a seemingly very happy guy. They don't remember him ever being mad or mentioning CTE or complaining about the NFL and its role with the whole CTE situation. So this seems to be out of left field to the people that we've heard from who know him so far. So there's a lot of questions here that are going to have to be answered.
Final quick question for you, Michael. Are we expecting any other press conferences from authorities in New York City?
I'm sure there'll probably be one later today. To be honest, I don't know if they've called for one yet. I know Eric Adams made the media rounds this morning talking about breaking this angle about the note that was on the gunman and the CTE issue. I'm sure if they learn some more, they'll hopefully give us an update again later on today or tonight.
Michael Wallace, CBS News in New York. Michael, thanks for jumping on.
Sure, anytime.
There you go. Just a tragic story. Again, 4 dead. I believe that Michael said, Deborah, that includes the gunman who took his own life, 1 injured, one of the dead, an off-duty New York police officer who was working security at that building. We did hear from the New York mayor earlier this morning.
The note alluded to that he felt he had CTE, a known brain injury for those who participate in contact sports. He appeared to have blamed the NFL for his injury.
All right, so I don't mean to seem callous, right? The victim's family, obviously, this guy had mental issues, but he knew he was going to take his own life. He left the note. Hey, I have CTE, study my brain. If he knew that this ends in him killing himself, what's the point of killing anyone else? And I'm not endorsing suicide, but isn't that better than the alternative? Oh, let me kill innocent people and then kill them? What is the point of that? And I know I'm trying to rationalize someone with mental health issues, but my goodness. If you are dealing with levels to that, first of all, seek help, call the hotline, whatever you have to do. But if you're dead set on killing yourself and you have a suicide note and you want your brain to be studied because you think you have CTE from playing 1 year of high school football, by the way, that was just released. His coach said he played 1 year of high school. Maybe he could have had CTE from 1 year. But why the necessity to kill innocent people? We'll never make sense of that. Never make sense of that. But Michael Wallace there in New York. As we get more information, we'll pass it along to you. Speaking of shootings, this was, man, I remember this day like it was yesterday. One of the most memorable days here at WSB Radio. 26 years ago today was the day trader shooting in Buckhead. Gunman Mark Barton killed his wife, 2 children, and 9 people, wounding 13 others. He later took his own life. Sound familiar? After being cornered by police. Then Atlanta Mayor Bill Campbell said Barton was reportedly upset over setbacks in the stock market.
He apparently was a day trader at a brokerage firm and was concerned about financial losses.
I remember that like it was yesterday. I was in the traffic center. So this was 1999. This is before I started doing TV full-time, Deborah. And I was doing midday traffic. I worked morning drive, and then I did midday traffic like Alex Williams is doing now. And you've been in the traffic center, Deborah. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it used to be just where Jesse Brooks's office. That's where I was sitting. Right.
Oh, that's really tight.
Yeah, really tight. But there was like 42 police scanners in there. And that's how we got our information. This is like before Google Maps and the internet, and you'd listen to police scanners and you'd call the police. And this is like closing in on lunch hour. And there's I hear an Atlanta police scanner. There's a shooting like the 3200 block of Piedmont in Buckhead. And I at that point, I've been listening to scanners for like 2.5 years in the traffic center. And I was like, that's not usually where you hear of shootings. At Piedmont in Buckhead, think about it, right? Peachtree, Piedmont, like. And I was like, that's odd. So I go to the newsroom, and I think it was either then news director Chris Camp or assistant news director Carrie Browning. And I was like, guys, I don't know what this is. It might not be anything, but there's a shooting in Buckhead on Piedmont, which seems really odd. Noon, at an office complex. This was before mass shootings became a thing of regularity. And so either Chris or Carrie or both were like, all right, we'll send a reporter there. And I think it was Richard Sangster was just finishing his shift, and he was like, all right, I'll go check it out. And it turned out to be this massive, horrible story where this day trader, Mark Barton, apparently lost his life savings day trading. This was the beginning of internet trading, and there was a day trading office in one of those office buildings on Piedmont. I'm sure you've passed them a million times between Roswell Road and Peachtree. And he just went on a shooting spree, killed a bunch of people, and unbeknownst to us then at the time, killed his family as well. And I remember that there was like a day-long search for him, and Captain Herb was in the WSB Skycopter that afternoon and found him. I think it was at a gas station in like Ackworth or Kennesaw or something. I mean, like this is pre-9/11. This is a different world. We didn't have things like this. And, that was crazy. Took his own life after being cornered by police. Vinny, search that for me. Make sure I'm getting my facts right. It's been 26 years, but Mark Barton, I think he was cornered at a gas station in either Kennesaw or Ackworth, somewhere along 75. And I remember Captain Herb was up over the scene, and we were doing live coverage here on WSB Radio. It was quite intense, but that was a long-time Atlanta residents remember. Crazy story. Crazy story. All right, Deborah, before I get too dark here, let's give away some tickets. What tickets do you want to give away right now?
How about Bryan Adams and Pat Benatar at Gas South Arena on November 6th?
November 6th, Pat Benatar, Bryan Adams, right? Yeah, Bryan Adams, separately, but two separate concerts one night. Amazing show. Let's do the 12th caller to Vinny at 404-872-0750. 12th caller to 404-872-0750 wins those amazing tickets. If you miss out on these tickets, do not fret, because we have more tickets to give away after the news at 11:37. Tickets to see Rod Stewart coming up in just a couple of days. So 12th caller, Vin. Sorry, brah. 404-872-0750. 404-872-0750. All right, speaking of Alex Williams, he's clocked in doing that midday thing in Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Good morning, Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Watching a crash on the west side perimeter heading through Smyrna down toward I-20. It's 285 south, below South Cobb Drive, exit 15. Couple of center lanes are blocked there. You're slowing back towards South Atlanta Road. If you travel downtown as an alternate, 75-85 southbound, still seeing some brake lights from the morning from 17th Street down to Cortlandt Street. And they blocked and reopened all lanes 285 east, the inner loop right next to Truist Park there at I-75 in Cobb. Moved to stall off to the right there. Traffic brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more about their support of Common Threads and nutrition education at anthem.com/dream. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Inc. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When you join us for Atlanta's Morning News Wednesday, starting at 5, the program Clark Howard thinks every international traveler should use on WSB.
It's July, and that means pool days, summer celebrations, and of course, heat. Georgia heat is brutal. Don't let your home be a sauna. Coolray has the perfect solution to keep you cool this summer. Coolray is offering you $2,250 in rebates and free attic insulation when you purchase your new complete carrier system. You know, proper insulation is like a sidekick for your HVAC, keeping cool air in and hot air out. Call or go online to Coolray.com to book your appointment today. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. to restore your love life in just one visit. Call now, 404-885-8885.
You worked hard for your 401k, but if you've left your job, your money might be sitting in the wrong hands. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and it's very possible that the 401k that you have had for years has hidden fees and limited investment choices. But if you're no longer with the company, that 401k may be at the mercy of your former employer. All of these things could be costing you thousands. Rolling over your 401k into an IRA can provide better investment options that align with your long-term goals. At Trajan Wealth, we're fiduciary advisors that are held to a higher standard with no hidden agenda and no hidden fees. Don't let your retirement dollars sit in an old plan, and don't roll it over to your new plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Advisory services are offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
11:21 on the Mark Arum Show. Trying to get a winner. I think we might have fumbled the caller number in there. Vinny's working on that. Coming up at 11:37, Deborah's got more tickets to give away to see Sir Rod Stewart. Plus, we're going to talk to Jimmy Brown, drummer for UB40. Can I make a request, DJ Longoria? Coming up after the news at 11:35, can we come back with a UB40 song? What are we doing, Deborah? Red, Red Wine?
Mark, Red Wine is a Neil Diamond song. You know that.
Yeah, but they covered it and that was like their big hit. Can't go wrong. A Neil Diamond cover.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that. That's coming up in just a little bit. A couple of stories I want to get you caught up to date on. Again, we're monitoring for an update from New York City authorities on when we get more information about that deadly mass shooting in Midtown Manhattan on Park Avenue. Quick update on the Ghislaine Maxwell story. We talked to Stephen Portnoy from ABC earlier in the show in D.C. Back to D.C. now with Scott McFarland, justice correspondent for CBS. Yesterday, Jeffrey Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell asked the Supreme Court to consider an appeal to overturn her sex trafficking conviction. This as Maxwell's lawyer appeals to President Trump directly to intervene in the case. Scott McFarland has more.
A reply was filed with the Supreme Court as part of Maxwell's overall appeal. She wants to get her conviction overturned, but she's making a broader argument. It doesn't involve the case at all. She's making an appeal that though she was given a plea agreement in the Southern District of Florida, she was very much prosecuted and sent to prison in the Southern District of New York. And you have different districts in the same U.S. government doing different things with the same defendant, that there may need to be a Supreme Court review of that issue.
Yeah, and
might do so. They might look at it.
Sorry, Scott. Part of this was that her lawyers believe that when Epstein signed his plea deal, the non-prosecution agreement, that she was protected by that plea deal. Apparently, whatever sweetheart deal, and it's disgusting if you look back at the deal that Epstein got first, before the deal that led the arrest that led him in to jail and eventually lost his life in prison. That first deal down in Florida gave him 180 days in jail and basically house arrest. He had a work release, but that deal apparently inoculated Maxwell from any criminal charges, which is ridiculous. It'd be like arresting Don Corleone from The Godfather. And in this plea deal, say, all right, you agree to this plea deal, and Sonny Corleone and Fredo and Michael, we can't prosecute them either. Like, it's insane. Insane. Can you tell I watched that documentary last night, Deborah? So when he got arrested for the second time, they arrested him. He had no idea it was coming, obviously, because he was flying back from Paris, landed at Teterboro Airport, I believe, in New Jersey. And they arrested him there. And then they raided this is Epstein, not Gisele Bündchen, Jeffrey Epstein. They raided his $77 million Manhattan apartment. And he didn't know it was coming because they found just an ungodly amount of child pornography, like pictures and videos. And yes, exactly. Just absolutely disgusting stuff. And Ghislaine Maxwell, I'm sorry, she was not an innocent bystander. She was his co-conspirator in these trafficking and took part in the assaults. And the victims goodness gracious, the victims, they have been led along by a chain by the FBI and the DOJ for decades now. Some of these girls were like 14 years old when they were assaulted, and they never got the justice they deserved. And then Epstein kills himself. I mean, just unbelievable. I know it takes a strong stomach, but if you want to keep up to date on what's going on with Ghislaine Maxwell and the Epstein files and what's going to happen with them, watch the documentaries. It's shockingly horrible, but I know, Deborah, but it gives you a clearer sense. Like I
don't think I can do
I
it.
see people on social media. I'm not going to name names, but they're like, well, if there's no criminals, like if Donald Trump and Bill Clinton aren't getting charged, then why is Ghislaine Maxwell in jail? Watch the documentary. She victimized these girls. We may never get a salacious headline, a celebrity, a politician, a movie star, a singer that gets caught up in this, but that's the aftermath. The actual crimes were committed by Maxwell and Epstein, and they were nasty, horrible. So no, do not pardon her. President Trump, do not pardon her. Watch the documentary, Trump. Watch it. You'll say, no way I'm pardoning her. Just dastardly, evil, flat out evil stuff. And and the basic thought was, Epstein, who came from humble roots, I'll give him that, turned himself to a billionaire. Maxwell came from a really rich British household. They considered these girls peasants, that their lives didn't matter. And it didn't matter if they were getting abused or trapped. Ugh. I'm sorry. Confirmation, Mark Barton was killed in Acworth, or took his own life in Acworth. Thank you for that, Vinny. The day trader shooting, 26th day, dark day in Atlanta history. We're going to lighten your day up, though, after news, weather, and traffic. Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Sir Rod Stewart, and we're going to talk to Jimmy Brown, drummer for UB40. They're coming to Atlanta for a concert as well. Hey, congrats to Gwen in Sandy Springs. She won a pair of tickets to see whom, Deborah? Bryan Adams and Pat Benatar. Pat Benatar, thank you. It's been an exhausting couple of days. We'll be right back. It's the Mark Arum Show on WSB.
This is Scott Slade. Nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially trouble with your heart. The earlier, the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's heart scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries early with the best CT imaging in the Southeast and with 98% accuracy. To encourage you to take action now, for a limited time, Virtual Imaging is offering their heart scan for only $49. It's a $495 value, but appointments for this offer will fill up fast, so don't wait. To schedule your Virtual Imaging $49 heart scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. I know, it saves lives. Don't put it off. Take advantage of this great offer from Virtual Imaging.
You know kids will ruin your life, right? Especially if you're a garage door. I mean, babies are adorable, don't get me wrong. But after that adorable phase where they barf and poop on everything, they turn into a cheap garage door's worst nightmare. Whacking tennis balls against the door all day, up and down every time they ride a bike. You dreamy young'uns might have the energy to start a family, but that rusty avocado green aluminum garage door that came with your house is too old for this jazz. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Modern, insulated garage doors are built to stand up to family life. They resist dents, they don't ring like a gong when you whack them with a puck, and they go up and down, super quiet, as many times as your kids change their minds. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll treat you like family.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
If you're thinking about selling your home this summer, now is the time. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can sell your home hassle-free and make the most money. Hi, this is Mark Spain. The guaranteed offer for Mark Spain Real Estate's the easiest way to sell your home. Skip the hassle of costly repairs and sell your home stress-free. There's no showings, no open houses, and no waiting or wondering when your home's going to sell. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter. The Golden Sales event is happening now at Butler Lexus South Atlanta. Unmatched performance, timeless luxury, and a dealership that truly values you. Visit them today. Offer ends September 2nd. Experience the standard of amazing.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather, traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. We are under a heat advisory. We're expecting a high of 96 this afternoon. That puts the heat index at 100 to 105. And extreme heat is blanketing a large section of the central and eastern parts of the United States. Correspondent Allison Keys has more on the dangerous effects of this heat.
In Florida, nurse practitioner Tara Calise at WellMed Land O'Lakes warns as temperatures rise.
A lot of conditions can get worse, especially cardiovascular conditions.
She says people need to find a place to cool off, especially those with high blood pressure. In Grand Rapids, Wisconsin, even lifeguard Charlie Shaw is feeling the fire.
I am burning up out here. On our breaks, we jump in from time to time.
And pet owners also being urged to keep an eye on their pets. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast with Channel 2 Action News meteorologist Brad Nitz coming up in just about 2 minutes. This just in. An arrest has been made now in connection with a man found in a burning car last December. Police say 42-year-old Marcus Overstreet of Atlanta has now been arrested. He was picked up by U.S. Marshals at an apartment complex in Union City. He is charged with malice murder. He's being held without bond for the murder of 36-year-old Mario Culver. Several Georgia metro areas, including Atlanta, rank high in a new report detailing the best places for food manufacturing in this country. Tess Fay is with the Global Location Strategies, and she says their report puts Atlanta at number 7.
From an infrastructure perspective, you've got road, rail, port access, and those are also very attractive considerations for food manufacturers.
Warner Robins, Savannah, and Gainesville also make the top 10. She says Georgia's high rankings also stem from the state's strong agriculture industry and labor force. There's not going to be a holiday in the park this year at Six Flags Over Georgia. The park saying the decision was made due to, quote, evolving business needs. Six Flags said that they plan to instead focus on enhancing the guest experience during the core operating season. Fright Fest, though, they say, will return this fall. Google is adding AI-powered store reviews to its Chrome browser to help users find the best place to shop. The new feature can be accessed by clicking an icon just to the left of the web address in the browser. Users will see a pop-up showing the reputation of things like product quality, pricing, customer service, and return policies. An Atlanta-based railroad company announcing a landmark merger deal to create America's first transcontinental railroad.
Norfolk Southern and Union Pacific agree to a deal linking more than 50,000 route miles from coast to coast. Union Pacific will acquire Norfolk in a cash and stock transaction worth $85 billion. The companies say the transcontinental railroad will deliver faster, more comprehensive freight service to U.S. shippers and decrease highway congestion. The deal must still be approved by regulators and shareholders.
And WSB Cheryl Castro reports the company's headquarters will be in Omaha, but Union Pacific says Atlanta will remain a core location as it acquires Norfolk Southern. Sandy Springs-based UPS reporting a decline in profits. The shipping giant reported $1.28 billion in net income for the second quarter, but that's down nearly 9% from a year ago. Earlier this month, UPS announced that it would offer voluntary buyouts to all of its full-time drivers for the first time in its history. As we take a look at the markets, the Dow's down 208 at 44,629. So the Dow's down almost 0.5%. NASDAQ and S&P are also in the red. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Delays thinning out nicely on the west side perimeter. Still tapping the brakes where that crash moved all to the right. Sabrina, 285 southbound. The outer loop past South Cobb Drive, exit number 15. Also seeing some brake lights into Midtown, 7585 southbound, 17th Street down toward North Avenue. And you got that right lane construction heading towards Stockbridge, 675 southbound, Highway 42, exit 2. Slow in the ride between Ellenwood and Stockbridge there, heading down to the 75 merge. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. Hot and humid, showers and thunderstorms will be scattered this afternoon and evening, but outside of that temporary relief from the heat, We'll top out around 96. Heat index 100 to 105. We'll dry up overnight down to 76. Then scattered showers and storms a little more numerous on Wednesday. Rain chance 60%. High 92.
It is 89 degrees right now in Smyrna, 87 in Winder. Peachtree Corners has 89 degrees. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Is your summer vacation going to be a week at the beach?
Oh, yeah!
That week at the beach could be yours if you win $1,000 on $1,000 Thursdays.
That's awesome!
It's $1,000 Thursdays on WSB.
Your chance to win $1,000 every hour between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. on Thursdays.
Listen for the
I just
keyword
put the keyword in, and my God.
at WSBradio.com or on the WSB app.
Oh, my word!
Get all the info at WSBRadio.com.
$1,000 Thursdays this Thursday,
From 95.5 WSB.
where Atlanta wins.
Coming up next, how the Atlanta Fire Department is going to use drones to help them battle blazes, plus tickets to give away to see Rod Stewart. All of that straight ahead on The Mark Arum Show.
Congratulations to our friends at Cars for Kids on 30 amazing years of charity excellence, helping over 100,000 kids nationwide. Donate your unused car today at carsforkids.org and join over 1 million proud donors. That's Cars with a K.
Better prices, better views. Window comfort, meant just for you. Window comfort.
Imagine the relief of windows without annoying drafts or high energy bills. Window Comfort's making it easier than ever with buy two, get two free, no payments till 2026, and expert one-day installation. Go to windowcomfort.com for your no-pressure estimate today.
Better prices, better views. Window comfort, meant just for you. Window comfort.
Georgia Power is here for you with programs, tools, and incentives that lower your bill. But we also have a few ways you can save right now. Unplug devices like TVs when they're not being used, or use a power strip you can switch off. Make sure you're only using the lights you need. Change out your HVAC filter and make sure your vents are clear. Set your thermostat at 78 for max efficiency. But every degree closer helps, because everything we save on energy can be better spent being there for the people we care about. Visit georgiapower.com for more energy-saving tips.
Take me back to middle school, ladies and gentlemen. Red Wine. Coming up in second, we talk to Jimmy Brown, drummer for UB40. First and foremost, though, speaking of music, Deborah Green, we have some more tickets to give away. What do we have right now?
Yeah, tickets to see Sir Rod Stewart along with Cheap Trick at Ameris Amphitheater coming up this Friday, August 1st.
All right, to eliminate any confusion, Vinny, what caller number do you want to screen and have be the winner? I don't want to mess you up. There's a lot of stuff to remember. Give me a number.
Let's do 8.
8. All right. 8. I knew you were going to say that. Dagnabbit, I need to play roulette. 8th caller to 404-872-0750. 8th caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see Sir Rod Stewart, courtesy the Mark Arum Show at 95.5 WSB. All right, without further ado, joining us on the show, drummer for UB40. You just heard their hit. It's Jimmy Brown, UB40, coming to Atlanta shortly. Jimmy, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Morning. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Are you as excited as we are that you're coming to Atlanta?
Yeah, sure am. Yeah, it's not a place that we've been to many times, but we have been before, I think. But yeah, we love touring America, all parts. Because they're so different, you know, from each other. We start off in Florida, we end up in New York, I think, and everywhere else along the way. So it's a great country to tour, and yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
We're so excited. It's called the Relentless Tour. Why are you dubbing it the Relentless Tour?
Well, because, I think we're doing about 40 shows, and I think we're doing them in the space of about, a month and a half, 2 months. So it's kind of going to be a relentless schedule. But also the fact that we've been in the business for 45 years means that kind of it's been relentless for all that time, you know. It's a fast-moving business, and the fact that we've survived in the business for all these years is just incredible, but it does feel kind of relentless as we're getting older.
How many years has UB40 been around?
We've celebrated our 45 years in the business from our original first hit back in 1980 last year, and it kind of tips over into this year because it was the end of last year, and 45 years, which is an incredible amount of time really to be in the business. Certainly a lot longer than most people have.
That's
so we're quite proud
remarkable.
of that.
Jimmy Brown, UB40, joining us on the Mark Arum Show. UB40 coming to town August 17th at the lovely Woodruff's Art Center. Jimmy, I grew up with your music. Love your catalog. Can't wait to hear stuff from your new album, UB45. I would imagine people my age have kids and turned the kids onto your music. So I bet you've picked up a lot of younger fans along the way.
We really have, you know. I mean, it always amazes me to see people that no way would they have been around when we were, you know, making our first music. And we see three generations coming now, you know, with granddad and grandma were into the band, and then you've got the kids, and then you've got the grandkids, you know. But also we get younger people on their own, and I think a lot of that is down to, I think people like to see a live band. You know, we're not playing backing tapes. We don't use aerobics a routine on stage, you know, where everybody's jumping about. We just get up and play our songs, you know, let the music speak for itself. And I think there's a purity to that, and I think young people like the idea of that, you know, and we are getting more and more young people coming to the show.
I don't want to step out of line, but your most iconic, most recognizable song, is that Red, Red Wine?
Yeah, I suppose, because it's not as, I mean, I think our version of Can't Help Falling in Love was bigger, actually, worldwide, globally, certainly. But I think we're more known for Red, Red Wine because I think a lot of people heard that song for the first time when we did it. And I think people associate it with us more, even though obviously it's not our own song. God, what's the guy's name?
It's okay. I mean, you're known for the song.
Anyway, the original writer, it's terrible I don't know his name because he's massive, but I think people associate that mostly with us. You know.
Over the years, since that was such a huge colossal hit, I would imagine that wine manufacturers approached you and the band and said, hey, we'd love to use this song in commercials. Were you ever able to license that song in any way?
We have had various inquiries over time. We're not really one of those kind of aspirational bands, if you see what I mean. You know, we're not. We don't sell products. You know, we make music. That's what we do. So I don't think any of it came to fruition, but we have certainly had offers over the years for our own brand of wine, for instance, or just using our music to promote wine. But, you know, we're not that kind of commercial band, I don't think, where we sell aspiration in that way.
Well, if you ever do, I would love to have a bottle of UB40 red wine on my dinner table. Jimmy Brown, UB40, over 100 million albums sold worldwide. Amazing that you're coming to Atlanta, Woodruff Art Center, August 17th. Jimmy, can't wait to see you. Thank you so much for your time, my friend.
Thank you for having me on, and I'm really looking forward to coming and playing.
Take care, Jimmy. Be safe, my friend.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. 45 years. Deborah, you're our musical correspondent. Is Jimmy Brown, UB40, touring because they absolutely love music and performing, or they're like, we don't have Social Security or pension, so we need to pay the bills?
It could be a combination of the both. But a band like UB40 with that reggae mix and everything, they really do have a good time just being on stage.
All right. Well, good. Glass half full. I'm just thinking, if I'm his age, I don't have the energy now to do anything once I get off the air, let alone tour, a world tour, performing on stage. That sounds exhausting, but maybe it is for the love of the music. Who knows? Anyway, they're coming August 17th. I'd like to see them in person. They had a couple of big hits when I was growing up. That unique reggae sound, as you mentioned, Deborah. All right, local story. We love our firefighters. Atlanta Fire Rescue is going to employ drone technology to help them battle blazes. You sent me the story, and I was like, oh, they're going to put water in the drones. But no, that's not how they're using them, Deborah.
No, they're going to use these drones like, the way you see them flying around in the air, and they're going to have a dedicated unit just to be able for people to fly these drones. So it's going to be a pilot and an observer for every single shift. So what it is you're going to be able to send them into areas a lot faster than you can get an actual firefighter, or if you're not sure how bad the situation is, you can get a drone up there a lot quicker. And they can also have things like thermal imaging. So if you're kind of searching for somebody, it's easier than being out there with a flashlight or just trying to guess. So that's what they're going to do with this drone unit.
I wonder, how can thermal energy work, though, if the house is on fire, right? You think, or is it like a cool spot then, where it's just a human body that would appear like a cooler spot in the imagery?
Well, remember yesterday we talked about how the Atlanta Fire and Rescue helped find those kids on the Chattahoochee?
Yes.
So they could able to use like thermal imaging there.
I like it. Drone technology helping fire. Again, when you sent me the story, I'm like, oh, like big drones full of water, and they just drop it. No,
that would be cool.
That would be cool. Someone take that idea. Firefighting drones. Drones are doing everything else these days. They might as well. Really interesting story. Hey, congrats to Brian in Sewanee. He won a pair of tickets to see Sir Rod Stewart, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show at 95.5 WSB. Coming up next, the world's worst tourist traps, if you're trying to squeeze in a summer vacation, where you need to avoid, and why do men never change their hairstyles? I'm raising my hand. I haven't changed my hairstyle in 30 years. Longoria's shaking his head, too. We'll talk about that after we check that mid-morning rush hour, live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. What's the happenings, Alex Williams?
Hey, Mark, watching the midday construction zones right now. You got it in the right lane, 675 southbound. Approaching Highway 42, exit 2, causing the brake lights back through Ellenwood. Also, left lane construction in Forsyth County, 400 southbound. Highway 141, Peachtree Parkway, exit number 13. And you got right lane construction over in DeKalb County as you make the trek out toward Lithonia, 20 eastbound between Wesley Chapel Road and Panola Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
And I know it's gonna be. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
$2,125,255. I can't even believe it.
Thank you, Atlanta.
Thank you for giving to the Aflac Cancer and Blood Disorders Center at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
And you can still donate at WSBRadio.com.
The WSB Carathon's mission will continue year-round.
Thank you for your support of Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
This is Scott Slade. Nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially trouble with your heart. The earlier, the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's heart scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries early with the best CT imaging in the Southeast and with 98% accuracy. To encourage you to take action now, for a limited time, Virtual Imaging is offering their heart scan for only $49. It's a $495 value, but appointments for this offer will fill up fast, so don't wait. To schedule your Virtual Imaging $49 heart scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. I know, it saves lives. Don't put it off. Take advantage of this great offer from Virtual Imaging.
Home improvement projects can be a stressful guessing game. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus, the highest level of communication. The Plus means siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. We'll make you comfortable and keep you informed with every step of your project.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus, siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Retire Ready with David Nicholas of Nicholas Wealth Management Saturday at 6 to get answers to your retirement. Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies.
Hey, business owners, do you have managed IT services where it's somebody else, not a full-time in-house on the payroll guy managing your computers? You should check with Vision Computers for managed IT services. At least get a quote from them. Call them at 404-COMPUTE. Tell them I sent you. You could save a lot of money, and your employee productivity could go up. Why? Because instead of creating a ticket every time something breaks, they can talk to a real person. So a lot of studies are out there. Y'all know them. Employees don't like to create IT tickets. They kind of feel dumb when they have to. Instead, they can get on the phone in 15 seconds or less, get the answer to what's going on. It's shockingly low compared to what you're probably paying right now, and it's 15 seconds or less on the phone. It's the biggest no-brainer in business tech support. Vision Computers. Call them at 404-COMPUTE. Tell them Eric sent you. At least talk to them. What do you have to lose? Get a quote from Vision Computers for their managed IT support. Call them at 404-COMPUTE nationwide.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Stars shining bright above.
What an amazing song. Mama Cass Elliot. 51 years ago today, she was found dead in London at the age of 30. Popular legend has it that the former lead singer of the Mamas and Papas choked to death. No. But a coroner ruled she died of a heart attack. Deborah says no. Deborah,
she did not choke on a ham sandwich. No.
Yes, I knew I was about to fact check it, but Deborah's like, no, I'm going to fact check you, Aram. What a great voice. Only 30 years old when she died. Rest in peace, Mama Cass Elliot. All right, if you're planning a late summer vacation, these are the 50 worst tourist traps in the world. Starting at number 1, Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco. I've never been, but I imagine it's kind of like Pike's Place in Seattle. You been to the Fisherman's Wharf, Deborah?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like what you're thinking. It's literally just a wharf.
Yeah, it's nice. There's a lot of nice restaurants there.
Would you call it a tourist trap?
Area.
Tourist trap?
Yeah.
Because it's so busy. That's why I think people go there thinking it's more than just a shopping area.
All right. That's number 1. Others on here, Niagara Falls, Canada. I disagree with that. I think I love that. Everyone should go to Niagara Falls at once. Number 9 on the list, Eiffel Tower in France. I've never been, but I know it's very popular. Number 11, I've been here, Trevi Fountain in Italy. It
beautiful.
It was touristy, but it wasn't a trap. I enjoyed my time at the Trevi.
Beautiful.
And number 15, this is the tourist spot I want to see the most in the world, the Pyramids of Giza in Egypt.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that's a tourist trap. Yeah, this list is malarkey.
You know what's not on here, Mark?
What's that?
The Grand Canyon or the Beltline.
Yeah.
Or the Beltline.
Well done, Deborah. I'll tell you what, number 30, Christ the Redeemer. That's the big statue in Brazil, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What
are they considering a trap?
I don't know.
These are more like cool places to go.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe they
Red Light District is on here. That was cool.
Oh, that
Petra
is cool.
Jordan.
I stayed
would
there.
love to see that.
That's where Longoria went on his honeymoon.
I did go on my honeymoon to
Amsterdam. Speaking of Christ the Redeemer, I do have a story here related to the church. It's a mass for social media influencers at the Vatican. CBS's Sabina Castellafranco has more.
At the Vatican's first Mass for Catholic influencers in St. Peter's Basilica this morning, Pope Leo called on the world to protect human dignity online as it faces the challenge of AI. The Pope told Catholic social media figures that nothing that comes from man and his creativity should be used to undermine the dignity of others. He urged the world to protect our ability to listen and speak in the new era of artificial intelligence. Sabina Castelfranco, CBS News, Rome.
All right, so it was influencers that, Catholic not like, hey, Jake Paul, come to the Vatican for sir. All right, that's better. But that comes in the heel of yesterday's hot priest story.
Hot priest.
Listen, I'm Team Pope Leo. Whatever Pope Leo wants to do, you do it. So I wish, Deborah, if you were a Catholic social media influencer, which you might be, as the official Catholic correspondent of the Mark Arum Show, you should have gotten.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, do that. You can get an invite to the Vatican. All right, final story. This hits close to home. The other day, I came out of the shower and my hair was, I took my hat off and my hair was kind of like parted to the side. And Maya's like, "Ooh, I like the way your hair looks, like parted to the." I think I look like a 6-year-old boy when I part my hair.
Yeah, that's the boy haircut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's like, "No, I think that's hot," And I'm like, "No, my hair is my hair." I am not alone, Deborah. Dudes do not change their hairstyles, do they?
Yeah, the average man decides by the age of 31, this is the haircut that I'm going to stay with for the rest of my life. And about 35% of them are kind of what you guys have, pretty short along the back and side.
Yeah.
And then buzz cuts come in at number 16. And the one that people are most curious about is the alpaca. I call it the broccoli. Kind of looks like a big bunch of curls in your hair. You see it a lot with the alphas.
Oh, the youngins. The youngins wear the that mop of broccoli on the head.
Yep.
My hairstyle's pretty much stayed the same. I used to. It's always been short on the sides and the back. But years ago when I first started WSB, I really rocked the curls that I had, like on front.
Really?
Yeah. I'll post a picture on my Instagram story. But I've shortened it up. I don't let the curls go a little crazy right now. Jennifer Griffiths used to be furious with me when I cut my hair. But especially in the summer. It's so hot out. That's why Grant Holmes, pitcher for the Braves, I don't know if you've seen him, he's got like that 2-foot mullet that's hanging out of his hat, and he's pitching in 96 degrees. And that's why he went on the injured list. Because he's just
it's too hot.
It's too hot, man. It's too hot for that long hair. Anyway, I think the dudes are nodding. We don't change our wardrobe or our hairstyle after the age of about 31. That's true. The tourist trap story, not true, but that haircut story is true.
Longoria's fact of the day.
All right, today is Garfield's favorite day. It's National Lasagna Day. And did you know early lasagna dishes in Italy were different from what we know today? Some recipes included sausage, meatballs, and even hard-boiled eggs.
Interesting.
Be a weird lasagna.
I would pass on that. I saw, ironically, today is National Lasagna Day. I saw a story on like a Facebook Reel or whatever they call them, stories.
Mm-hmm.
This lady taste tested. She got 2 to-go orders of lasagnas, one from Olive Garden and one from Carrabba's. Both priced about the same. You get salad and bread with it. And the Olive Garden one was like twice the size of the Carrabba's one. But she said the Carrabba's one was better. She taste tested it.
She didn't have the never-ending pasta.
She did not have the never-ending
Yeah, I bet you
pasta.
that would have changed her mind.
I was about to leave here on a good mood, and then Deborah's just got to shank me in the kidney. Biggest regret, Aaron. Never-ending pasta pass. Anyway, all right. Good fact of the day. Happy National Lasagna Day.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Arum star of the show?
On Tuesday's Bagel Day in the Mark Arum Show, but Vinny said, no, I want a sandwich instead. So I got sandwiches, so I'm going to get a start of the show. Vinny played hurt, under the weather today, so I'm going to give Vinny a start. Yeah, Vinny's a little under the weather. Take a nice hot bath when you get home, Vin. No hookah bars or concerts tonight. Rest up. We need you at 100% tomorrow. Vinny gets the star of the show. Joe Khalil joined us live from News Nation talking about tax on tips. Actor Danny Houston from Yellowstone, Children of Men. He is in the latest installment of Naked Gun. Great actor. He joined us. Scott Slade went in depth on the FBI release of the Martin Luther King files. He gets the star of the show. Michael Wallace from CBS News joined us live in New York updating the shooting. Oh, one little piece of news on that. This goes back to Rory O'Neill, who taught us about people or workers in Vegas not happy. The shooting suspect, Deborah, was employed by the Horseshoe Las Vegas Hotel and Casino, apparently.
Oh,
the gunman.
Okay.
Yeah, so it all comes together. Rory gets the star of the show, and Stephen Portnoy from ABC on the Ghislaine Maxwell story. Took 3 hours. I pronounced her name right. Social media is active throughout the ball game and the broadcast, whatever you want to call it. At Mark Arum, MarkArum. Big show tomorrow. political analyst Stephen Lawson live breaking down the ever heating up Georgia Senate race. And we'll, of course, update our top local stories tomorrow on the broadcast. Stay safe, stay cool. Heat advisory, Atlanta.
With him, I know you will. On that midnight train to Georgia. Leaving on that midnight train.
WSB Atlanta, WSB-FM, and HD1.